nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The Ingles Magical Christmas Toy Drive to benefit Eblin Charity's St. Nicholas Project is back at the Ingles on Smoky Park Highway. It all gets started Thursday at 6 a.m. and runs until Saturday at 12 noon. Won't you help put a smile on a child's face this holiday season? See you out there.
Hey, you got 10 minutes? Then you've got time for the new podcast, 10 Takes with Kyle Brandt. Every Monday, I give you 10 takes from the NFL, from the universe, and I give them to you in just 10 minutes. I'm telling you, you may just have the best time you've ever had listening to a podcast. It could be a crazy play I'm talking about. It could be how I hate child car seats and I don't know how to install them. You just never know. Listen to 10 Takes on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingles Studio.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. Welcome everybody back from a holiday. Was it good to you? Have you recovered from your food hangover, Jeremy?
I ate the largest sandwich I've ever seen in my life yesterday.
I've never I mean, I used to watch cartoons, and they don't make sandwiches that big.
It was divine.
Yeah.
I am back to keto today, so I had to get rid of every bit of leftovers last night. So Amy ordered the lovely French loaf from the Ingles Bakery, and
everything went on it.
All of it,
just
everything.
Nice.
Made a cranberry mayo that went on that bad boy, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I have been seeing dead relatives since about 7 o'clock last night. So if I fall off the screen at some point, or you just don't hear my voice for a minute, somebody should call help.
Yeah. Fat me celebrated in my heart. Current me stared at that photo and went, I would die if I ate a quarter of that sandwich.
It almost killed Brian Haynes, if that tells you anything.
Oh, my.
Because what you couldn't see from that picture is that it was literally over a foot long. I cut it in half to make... Yeah, it was
to make it manageable, right?
Yeah, it was. It was a lot.
Well, I'm glad.
And now I have to basically consume nothing but protein shakes for about 5 days. So I'm going to be pretty ornery by the end of the week.
I was going to say, it'll take you at least a week to get back on the track here after the holiday season. But I hope everybody had an opportunity to get some good rest in, get all the football watching in, get some time in with the family.
This is as overreaction as I'm going to be.
What?
This week, I will overreact to all of the things. But I don't think my overreactions are going to be in large part what you, A, want them to be, or B, what you think they will be.
Okay. All right. It was a football-filled weekend. as we had football every day of the holiday week as we do. And, it all came crashing down for one Franklin Delano Reich. I have no idea if that's his name.
It's not.
Probably not.
It's not.
But Frank is out in Charlotte. The Carolina Panthers, David Tepper deciding enough is enough. The 1-10 start after the loss to the Tennessee Titans was Frank Reich's last as the head coach.
Let's play a fun game.
Yep.
There have been 6 coaches fired during their first season.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. How many can you name?
Well, we've got Frank Reich now, so that's one.
That one was a given.
You had Urban Meyer, Nathaniel Hackett. Then I got to dig back. I'm not sure. I know that those have been, the last 3 years?
Mm-hmm. You don't have to dig back that far.
Really?
No. It's happened 6 times in NFL history. It's happened 5 times in the last 6 years.
Really?
Pete McCauley in 1978 was the only time that had ever been done. Now, there had been a couple coaches who quit. Lou Holtz quit.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Petrino quit.
Mm-hmm.
These are the ones that have been fired. Hillbilly Handfish and Freddie Kitchens and Steve Wilkes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
5 of those are in the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you?
Times they are changing. There ain't no loyalty anymore if you can't win.
Well, why? Why is that the case?
I mean, this is a big business and everybody wants to win.
Because the bad in this league is so damn bad that I don't need to look at this and give you time. Look at the 5 names that I just said. Steve Wilkes in Arizona, there were times that I, honest to God, thought their meetings weekly were held in a language that team was not familiar with. Freddie Kitchens, I was not dead sure he actually knew what a football was. Urban Meyer was way too preoccupied with doing over-the-pants hand stuff.
Uh-huh.
Nathaniel Hackett, you could have convinced me that he had an active wager against himself, and Frank Reich was worse than all of them. All of them. I'm going to tell you something that was told to me by somebody really close to this team. If it was up to David Tepper, Frank Reich would never have coached a game for this team. He'd have fired him in August.
Really?
That's how bad this had gotten. And the reason, and this was super predictable, and it really bothers me that I didn't see this when it happened. As soon as that story leaked that Frank Reich wanted C.J. Stroud, this was doomed to fail. 100% unequivocally doomed to fail. There was no shot.
Yeah.
Because, ask yourself Jeremy's favorite question. Who wanted you to know that? It was Frank Reich.
Of course.
Because he was looking around going, I cannot win with this quarterback, so I'm going to go to one of my little buddies in the media. I'm going to leak that I wanted C.J. Stroud because when he looks as good as he has and Bryce Young looks as bad as he has, I want out in front of the narrative that I didn't do this. Now, this is the worst hire possibly in NFL history. Just in terms of looking back, revisionist
the
history.
Results, yeah.
My bigger question is, where do you go from here? Do you realize how many layers of disaster Carolina is right now?
At least 6. There's at least 6 layers to this.
Well, I want you to think about the pool of potential openings.
Okay.
You tell me which one of these is less attractive than Carolina. The Los Angeles Chargers.
No.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
No.
The Raiders is already open. The New York Jets. The New England Patriots. That one you have to think about, but it's a historically really successful franchise.
Ownership.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington Commanders.
Yeah, no.
The Chicago Bears. They have 2
Maybe.
top 5 picks. You shouldn't have even really thought about that.
Oh, yeah, I
because
wasn't thinking about
they
that.
have your pick, which is going to be number 1 in a far superior draft.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that.
The entire NFC South. There's a path that none of those jobs are occupied by the same guy next year that they're occupied by now.
And none of them should be.
No. For the love of God, can we stop giving playoff berths to teams that win god-awful divisions? I would say that's probably all the ones that could come open. You're the least attractive job on the market, and it's not even close.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it all comes from David Tepper down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many articles I have read? This came down about 9 o'clock this morning. I have probably read 20 articles from 20 different markets just because I wanted to see. We are Panther affiliates. I know what I know, you know what you know, and a lot of it's because, well, we're close. So you hear a lot of things that are, hey, don't say I said this, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This has been going the wrong way for a while. Do you know of the 20 articles I've read, how many times was it referenced how impatient David Tepper is?
All of them.
All but 2.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of them were written 9 minutes after this happened. So they may have edited it and gone back and put it in. I don't know. You don't have a GM. Scott Fitter's getting fired, period. There's no way that David Tepper, unless he has horrid naked pictures of David Tepper, there's no way Scott Fitter doesn't get fired. So just think about how the process is going to go. You're not hiring a coach without a GM. So you're going to have to do the GM search first. Why'd you not fire Scott Fitter today? Why'd you not get a leg up on that today? Why did you not get in front of that so you at least – and you can't talk to all these guys. I get that, but you can do an expedited search because we don't hire coaches as quickly as we used to. So now you're going to have to go through all the fun little dog and pony show of, hey, you know what, we gave Scott 5 more games, but we have ultimately decided that there will be a parting of ways.
Or he gets to leave on his own accord at the end of the season.
I'm going to say that's not going to happen.
Really?
It's pretty dumb to walk away from somebody that has to buy you out. You'd have to really be principled, and I'm going to say Scott Fitter is probably not that good. So you're going to have a 1 to 2 week search for your GM before you can even dive into the pool, which means you're going to get the 6th, 7th, 8th best candidate in this cycle. Why? Because David Tepper's ego got the best of him. You should not have fired Frank Reich today. I'm just going to level with you. You shouldn't have. This is a bad idea. And then you look at who they tabbed to replace Frank Reich. Tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Chris Tabor. Not Ajiro Avero.
Mm-mm.
Not Jim Caldwell.
Nope.
Not Thomas Brown.
Nope.
I want the guy that there is not a snowball's chance in Atlanta that the fan base is going to fall for him the way they did for Steve Wilkes. And why would I do that? Because he's already got somebody in mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that is. I know who it should be. I also know that person personally, and if they don't look at that phone number, come up and go, I'm new phone, who this? Honey, who was that? Potential spam. I don't believe I'll be answering that call.
David Tepper as an NFL owner, and there is no doubt about it that this has been an unmitigated disaster. The only path forward here for him, in my eyes, is you are costing yourself major amounts of money by the day. Because the only way this gets better. The only way this gets better is if he's going to back up the Brinks truck for whoever. I don't know what it is.
I always love when people say that.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean exactly? When you say back up the Brinks truck, what does that mean?
It means you make somebody the stupidest offer out there.
And what you just said is how you got here. You don't win in the NFL by throwing stupid money at things. That's why you're where you're at. I've heard so many names today. If Jim Harbaugh got a call from David Tepper right now, he would literally laugh until he peed in his khakis and have to send them to a dry cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you think I'm leaving Michigan for that? I'm going to pass, but thank you for the offer. There's also not a coach that you can do that with. Who's the guy that you're – all right, let's just say it worked that way and you just grossly overpaid for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that guy? Are you going to go get Bill Belichick, who we're going to talk about later? And I'm not going to lie, that sandwich is still like lodged in my heart. And I know that's not how food works, but
right.
I may actually fall out yelling at Bill Belichick.
There is no name that is off the table. Any name that you can mention, they're getting an offer. Because he has to be, right? He has to be desperate to make this work now. This is why you've done this.
And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. You ever heard that phrase that there's an actual stench of desperation? That's where Carolina's at.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody with options knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Johnson knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that. You have a horrific reputation in this league as being really meddling and being really impatient. It's not going to change. Unless, because I feel like every Panther fan today is looking at this the wrong way. It's not the coach. It's not. You can blame Frank Reich all you want to. This roster is comedically bad. That offensive line is New York Jet bad, and they're on their third full set of offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, number 15 will play. Talk about my team later. I've got to get my mind right before I even open my mouth about that. You fired 2 head coaches in back-to-back years. Who that dude and me basically just said that in our YouTube comments. Good luck getting anybody to answer. That's the point. That's the whole point, is that you've made yourself look like an absolute clown show, and you just did it with a veteran coach.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't Matt Rule. You could have gotten a blip on Matt Rule. You went and hired the safest coach humanly possible. The problem is you didn't cut the head off the snake. You have been – to say this team has drafted poorly would be the absolute greatest understatement in the history of the English language. Your best draft pick never plays, ever. J.C. Horn's the only pick you've hit on. He never plays. He's hurt all the time. And now you have to find a coach not only that will take that will take the call, not only the coach that will take your money, but the coach that's dead set on Bryce Young. And, I mean, there's got to be a serious buy-in here. Coaches don't tend to get a second bite of the apple. You're going to get a first-time head coach because nobody's taking their second shot with this disaster. Why would I tie myself to all this? I've got a quarterback that you jumped out of line to go up and get. Now you don't have a pick in the first round, which you gave up to get him. It's going to be the number 1 pick in this draft. And you still have to give up another 2 as well. And you have no receivers. And you have no offensive line. And, oh, by the way, I have to deal with David Tepper. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Mm-hmm. And the problem that you have is who's going to do it? Who's going to – because now you're at full rebuild, right?
The only hope you have is that you have an in with somebody like the Houston Texans had with D'Amico Ryans, because that is the positive side of this.
Mm-hmm.
The Houston Texans were in the exact same shape you were 1 year ago. We thought Nick Caserio was the biggest moron on the planet Earth. Then doubled down on it, went for broke, and it worked.
Yep.
Because he got the quarterback and he got the edge rusher, and it's all come together. But he drafted well.
Mm-hmm.
He hit on Tank Dell. He hit on Nico Collins, who just hadn't had a quarterback to throw to him. He went and got Dalton Schultz. That's what you're going to have to do. Stop worrying so much about the coach. Coaches are fluid. The organization is not fluid. David Tepper's not going anywhere. Your scouting department from the head down is not going anywhere. You need to back the Brinks truck up. You're 100% right on that. But it's not for the coach. Go get the GM. The GM will bring organizational stability and bring the coach with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because David Tepper at this point is so toxic in league circles, your money ain't no good here to anybody with options. Focus on the GM, not the coach.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It's an Overreaction Monday. More coming next.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at the Asheville Mall as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations, donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Mall so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this holiday season.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Halloween is over, but hiring is still scary. Indeed's end-to-end solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Imagine a world where animals and humans coexist in harmony, where wild animals thrive, habitats are protected, and marginalized communities are empowered. At International Animal Rescue, this is our vision. Our holistic, community-led projects not only rescue animals, but also protect and replenish precious habitats, creating a better future for us all. But we can't do this without you. Show your support now and help keep the wild, wild. Visit internationalanimalrescue.org.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. When dining out or shopping at the grocery store, ask for sustainable seafood. By choosing sustainable seafood, you can help reduce overfishing, bycatch, loss of top predators, illegal fishing, and other harmful environmental impacts. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth. iHeartRadio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. Reduce your impact on the environment this fall by packing a waste-free lunch for school or work. Avoid foods with excessive packaging. Use reusable cutlery, napkins, cups, bags, and containers, and recycle or compost any waste when possible. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
Back on an Overreaction Monday, ESPN Asheville.
We have our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
And this is a really serious question. It's from Rich Vitale. So, serious question. If the Panthers called you, Jeremy, would you take the job? No. Seriously, I wouldn't. I have no desire to be a coach. Scout, and if you wanted to hire me in the front office, we could talk. You're going to have to pay a hell of a lot more than I've been told you pay. But that's some inside baseball. That doesn't really matter. I don't think you're going to get anybody with options that really wants this job. A couple other questions that were asked about Carolina. Rob Johnson, what does Carolina do? Trade Brian Burns for a good weapon? I'm trading anything that's not attached to the floor. Brian Burns, sorry, buddy, you're going to get franchise tagged, and I'm going to auction you to the highest bidder.
Tear it to the studs. How many times do we say
How many players do they have that are members of a division winner in this god-awful division?
3.
I don't know that I can get that high.
You got Burns. You got Brown. And you got Jeremy Chin.
It's 2 guys you got to pay, and Jeremy Chin's a free agent that you're not going to pay. He has no desire to be here. He wasn't even playing when he was healthy. He wasn't even playing.
Frankie Louvu.
Awesome. You have a special teams linebacker. Awesome. You're going to have to really spend the money on the front office and start hitting on the draft picks. That's the most important thing. Because Carolina, I do not care who you hire. Unless you start hitting on draft picks with your reduced draft capital, none of the rest of this matters. Bryce Young has no shot.
Remember when we were sold the whole David Tepper myth, right? This is a guy that's, he's been connected with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's going to take, he's been a part owner there, and he's going to take that model, and he's going to bring it down here. and he's going to turn this into basically Pittsburgh South. He's just going to be winning all the time. You tired of it? Are you tired of all the winning? Because, I mean, it's been fantastic, right?
Charlie Sheen was winning more than this. And that was when he was banging 7-gram rocks and talking about tiger blood.
Exactly.
Currently, that guy is making David Tepper look bad.
Yeah, Carolina Panthers making the change at 1-11, or excuse me, at 1-10. The reverse of that, Philadelphia Eagles improved to 10-1. Somebody asked in the chat, what was the best game of the weekend? What was the worst game of the weekend? I think we could all agree that, or maybe not all agree, but we can all get on board with Buffalo Bills, Philadelphia Eagles was the best game of the weekend.
If we're talking about the NFL, yes.
Yeah.
The game you dutied on was the best game of the college football weekend.
What game?
Alabama-Auburn. I tried to tell you, and I was taking so many victory laps in the chat of Tank took New Mexico State, Jacksonville State over this.
Yep.
Needless to say, I will be making the first selection in the daily draft because that might be the biggest defeat in the history of that segment.
You don't
believe me?
Finish.
If you don't believe me, go back and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I was not interested in that game at all. That should have been a blowout.
I watched every second of it, and I knew it wouldn't be. Just like, the rest of the rivalry games weren't. Because we do that every year. I love rivalry weekend because no matter how much money I'm down for the year, I go, I'm going to make it back this week.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech, weird. They're awful. Made it a game.
Mm-hmm.
Washington State, they're awful. Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Should have won.
Mm-hmm. Lots of close games this weekend. But the worst was most definitely had to be the Giants and the Patriots, right?
If you watch more than 5 seconds of that game, you're a sadist and you need to talk to a therapist. And I don't care if you play for the New England Patriots.
No.
I would have literally, if I was on the sideline playing for one of those teams, I would have just sat there like, nope. Can't make me do it if I'm not in the game.
So the Philadelphia Eagles do it again. They're able to come back and win last night. Overtime, 37-34 against the Buffalo Bills.
It's the luckiest team in the NFL, and yes, you do have a realistic, legit big boy problem because Jalen Hurts is hurt.
Mm-hmm. What's wrong with him?
Knee. He's got a big brace on the knee. It was super obvious that he is, in terms of just throwing the football, it wasn't great. And then the fourth quarter happened.
Mm-hmm.
And why did that happen? Because you let them hang around. Buffalo beat your brains out for 3 quarters. But they couldn't put you away. And when they didn't put you away, they started doing that thing, and I hated this phrase when I was a kid, but prevent defense prevents you from winning.
Yep.
That's all it does. And they didn't do that. They just played super soft. And I got to give Jake Elliott, I got to give him credit. Buddy, I don't think there's 3 people on this planet that would have made that field goal, and it might just be you and Justin Tucker.
Yeah. 59-yarder in a monsoon.
And it was bullets. As soon as it came off his foot, I went, that's good. I'm not sure it even got above the line when I went, that's good.
Yep. But the Philadelphia Eagles force overtime. Then Buffalo couldn't make the play, the Gabe Davis play, right? It feels like every game you have an infamous play, that it always comes down to
the infamous
one
play in this was
mistake.
The infamous play in this game should have had a lot to do with people wearing black and white. We're going to talk about that later, and I'm going to do my best to not say bad words. And that's coming from a Jets fan. This is a team in my division.
It is quite upsetting. Every game you watch, though, there are 3 to 4 major plays that you go, like the announcers don't even know what to do anymore.
No.
Like you're sitting back just going, what is happening right now?
I love when they go to Gene's territory and he just goes, it beats me. I don't know. I don't know how an official can be looking at a quarterback who gets drugged down by the collar, which we have a penalty that is named for that, and they just go, nope. Then you call intentional grounding, and there was a receiver there. Not only did we get the call wrong because we missed that one, we then tacked on to make it worse.
Yeah.
I was promised flying cars, and you know what? I don't need a flying car. I got a brand new car. Thank you, CarMax. HWA's driving that today. You see it on all of our social medias. It's quite lovely. I don't need that. You know what I need? Robot officials. I am so tired of hearing these god-awful officials try to explain. There are times that I'm like, I don't think you even know what this rule is. You're making this up as you go along, aren't you? John Harbaugh looked at the official last night and went, you're making this up as you're going along, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Starting to think of maybe we should get like a phone a friend. You remember that? You remember that old game show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where we had the lifelines? I feel like referees, we need those during the game. Like coaches can phone a friend when they don't agree with what the refs on the field said.
It's way easier than that.
I can either call up to the booth. I can poll the stadium. Actually, we'll poll the opposing fans and see what they think.
It's way easier than that. All you need. And I'll happily, Rich Vitale asked if I'd take the Panthers head coaching job. No. Would I take the job I'm getting ready to outline? Absolutely. We get 5 fat guys, 2 cases of domestic lights, and the Red Zone channel. If there's a calling question, just call us. Hey, stupid. This is like super obvious. I don't know how you didn't see it live time, but I've seen it on replay about 8 times. Why do we not have that? There's no term that irritates me more than that's not reviewable. Mm-hmm. Why is it not reviewable? We review everything, even the most obvious calls. We review them all. And the expedited call, why does that not apply to just a blatantly obvious penalty? Roger Goodell, I get it. You got a lot of stuff on your plate. Maybe focus less on Tay-Tay and more on getting the damn call right. If I said that one time yesterday, I bet I said it 60. I bet I said that 60 times.
It's a problem. And nobody knows how you fix it.
I just said how to fix it.
But they will never do that. That's the problem.
I completely disagree
with
you.
You think
so? 100%. I'll tell you why. Because you've started to really, really anger bettors. Yesterday, let's play a fun game. If the Minnesota Vikings cover tonight, how many times in NFL history have more favorites covered in a single week?
Oh, I don't know.
0. It's tied for the record right now. And some of those were historically awful bad beats. Many of them had problems with officiating.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said that's when this goes completely awry. When the bettors start completely not believing in the officials, you're going to see a dip in the money. And we're to that point. I got gambler friends that swear this league's rigged. I always thought the gamblers were the smartest people, and you cost them a whole mess of money, and they go straight kooky Medusa.
They've just gone full tinfoil hat.
They hate officials at this point to the same level that Kevin Vick and myself do.
Maybe
and
so. Maybe that ends up being the thing. Now that wagering is so widely accepted, maybe that will spur the change more. We've been arguing about this. We've been complaining about this our entire lives as fans, and it's never changed.
Jack S. in our YouTube comment said, you made this point earlier in the season. How do you call quick plays like that? Do you call everything? And then he finished it with, you said that human error was part of the game. I have never said that. Not one time. He has, because I think that is the stupidest thing that comes out of anybody's mouth. A human error, that's a baseball thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's human error.
Because that's the excuse that we always get given.
It might have been in 1947 when your only replay was an etching that somebody that looked like the Monopoly Man did on the first baseline. I have 900 cameras. Get the call right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if we take officials out entirely. You can give me one guy to spot the ball, one to make sure these guys don't kill each other, and then everything else is officiated from on high. I'm fine with that. I'll never be mad that you got a call right. Ever.
Yeah.
I don't care if it slows the game down. At this point, these games are taking 3-something hours anyway.
But we can't take out the human element.
100% we can.
Yeah, I think you can.
Oh, let me back satisfied Browns fan who is, I got to give that guy credit. You had a bad weekend, my friend. He was in the big house.
Oh, no.
As an Ohio State fan.
Ouch.
And he is a Browns fan. But it is his birthday weekend, and happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday.
He said none of us would be here without human error. That's not entirely true. a lot of us would not be here without human error and vacations. And maybe tequila. Who knows? But that doesn't change anything in an NFL football game.
No.
We can make mistakes in our social lives.
Go ahead.
I don't need an official that's just, I can't see it.
What did we learn, though? Philadelphia Eagles, 37. Buffalo Bills, 34. Overtime win for the Eagles to go to 10-1. How strong are the Philadelphia Eagles at the top of the NFC, or are there problems? We'll take a quick break. We'll discuss it up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sun, breezy to windy and chilly out here this afternoon. Temperatures again well below average, 10 to 15 degrees below average, with highs only in the low 40s. Breezy to windy and cold tonight, clear skies, upper 20s. Mix of clouds and sun, still a bit breezy to windy and cold tomorrow. Highs only in the upper 30s to near 40. Moderating temperatures through midweek, sunny and 50 Wednesday, sunny and mid-upper 50s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Ancestry.com.
It's because of Ancestry. A cousin found me, and we've kind of become bi-coastal besties.
The holidays are meant to be shared with family, and there's no better way to connect over what your family is all about. Start today during our holiday sale at Ancestry.com.
Hey, it's Amanda, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is that they're so easy for the holidays. They're warm and flavorful. It's always a crowd pleaser. When I put down a nugget tray, everyone is happy.
Hey, this is Brian, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is the joy that it brings to me and everybody around me during the holidays. They're warm, juicy, and delicious.
Cater the holidays with Chick-fil-A today. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
'Tis the season when you're in the mood for holiday music. Listen live with the iHeartRadio app and on your radio.
97.7 The Brew is Asheville's Christmas station. Brought to you by Balkan Roofing and Ingles Markets.
Get ready for holiday feast season with Pepto-Bismol.
Uncle Derek's here with his famous fried turkey. Hey, Aunt Mary brought the mac and cheese. Donna's here with the potato salad.
Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for unexpected stomach upsets. So enjoy the holidays. Pepto has you covered, no matter who made the potato salad.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The Rolling Stones, the greatest rock and roll band in the world, famous for their police-escorted motorcades that whisk them in and out of their live shows. Now, iHeartRadio gives you a chance to be part of the entourage on the Stones' upcoming tour. You and 3 friends travel via motorcade to the VIP entrance, check out Soundcheck, and see the Rolling Stones live from some of the best seats in the house. Another iHeartRadio once-in-a-lifetime experience. Enter to win by listening to this station on the free iHeartRadio app.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back of the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Tommy DeVito.
Hey! I do love that we can't do stereotype things unless it's with Tommy DeVito.
Well, I mean, if you all...
Did anybody else notice that we can't do that with any... And I'm not saying you should, But they went so over the top with Tommy DeVito. Literally every time he scored a touchdown, he was doing this. They brought him into the Sopranos theme song. Literally the only way they could have made this more obvious is if they gave him just a big tuft chest hair and a gold chain. Made him end every sentence with "forget about it."
They have quickly turned him into one of my new favorite storylines of this season.
His dad does look like Tony Soprano too.
No doubt.
That dude has worked some union jobs that he might not have worked. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, just the fact that he is, he's putting he really is putting Italian Americans on the map once again. The embracing of the persona here, and it's almost the acceptance of he is one of us. He still lives at home with his mom. How you like that? He's a good kid.
Meatloaf. That's all I could think about watching him is this kid. This kid ate beefaroni in his drawers in his mommy's basement last night.
If he starts throwing on the Joe Pesci accent, I think we just go ahead and give him the Rookie of the Year now.
I wish he would. I wish he would have come into his press conference yesterday.
What are you saying? I amuse you? Funny how?
That would just be...
It'd be great.
That'd make me like him even more.
No doubt. I love this kid.
I have two outside stories. What? And I'll be honest with you, I couldn't choose between them because I couldn't choose which one was dumber. Did you watch the Thursday night game? So the Thanksgiving night game, Seattle just gets obliterated by San Francisco.
Yeah.
Did you hear Chris Collinsworth tell his story of how stupid he is?
No.
So
I did not.
Apparently, Chris being in Seattle, he thought he would take in some of the local wares. So he went to a fish market to buy some fish.
Okay.
And he saw a fish, and it said it's big fish, and it said $35. So Dum Dum went, I'll take two and have them shipped to my house. Because he doesn't understand that you buy meat by the pound.
By the pound, yeah.
He spent $700 to have two fish shipped to his house.
Good for him. What a
And then told that story out loud. That's one of those stories that you swear your wife to secrecy. You will never tell anybody that I did this, ever. And if you do, we're going to have a problem.
Nah, that's a great story.
The other story is, we're in the silly season of college football. Got coaches being fired. Ryan Day probably should be, but we'll get to that later. Indiana. That one probably didn't make a lot of headlines yesterday.
Tom
Allen,
yep,
fourth biggest buyout in the history of college football.
Hilarious.
That's not good. But there is have you heard anything about who the candidates for this job could be?
No. Indiana football?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're saying this like, you're not going to say a name. No, I'm gonna. South Alabama's Kane Womack is valued to be the favorite.
I'd rather have Chris Womack.
100%. Shout out to our guy at WLS. Tommy Reese from Alabama, Justin Fry, the offensive line coach from Ohio State, who played at Indiana.
Okay.
But then there's one name that has support from key Indiana boosters.
Mm-hmm.
That would be former Las Vegas Raiders coach John Gruden. And apparently, this is a real thing. He's interested in them.
Okay.
They're interested in him.
Okay. But why? I mean,
what do you? Which one are you saying why to here? Because this makes perfect sense when you think about it.
All right, give it to me, because I can't figure out why you would want to do this.
Well, Indiana, are you going to hire a coach even in the stratosphere of John Gruden?
No.
And if you do, they'll leave you in 2 years.
As he would.
Would he though? Where's he going to go? This is the perfect storm.
It only
nobody in the NFL
takes a couple of winning years for people to forget. Just remember. I mean, we're not ever going to forget, and there'll be people that will never forget, but we'll be able to forgive it. He goes to Indiana and somehow pulls together like 2 9-win seasons in the Big Ten. He is out of there in a heartbeat.
I don't know that I agree with you. I don't know that I agree. He's from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of why this is like the perfect storm. He's from South Bend, Indiana.
Okay.
And the more I've talked to people, the more they're convinced Indiana's actually going to hire John Gruden. He's always had some level of interest in college.
I mean, I get it in the same sense as Colorado, right? Colorado getting Deion Sanders, I was all about it because you're never going to make more money than you ever would with Deion as your coach.
For 1 year. Man, you talk about something that aged like a dairy product.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked at his recruiting class?
No.
5 best guys in the class have decommitted in the last 2 weeks.
Of course. Because you can't actually compete on a big level.
No, good Lord, no.
You can make it look good for a little bit, and then everybody went, oh, wait, no, we got you.
Oh,
we figured you
we're
out.
Good.
Hang on, we figured it out what you're trying to do.
We'll pass.
We'll take care of it.
Oh, you're trying to do that thing as a college head coach that Donald Trump did to win the presidency of just, hey, I'm going to be directly in your face, and I'm on social media at all times. But I'm not qualified for this. Oops. I believe South Park had a whole season about that.
Yeah, I mean, I fully see why Indiana will never make a hire better than this.
No.
The problem I have is where you're going to leave yourself after it's over, because I don't see this as Indiana's going to come in and give John Gruden the lifetime contract or whatever, and he's just going to stick around. He'll be fine. I mean, sure, he can come in and he'll give it. Lane Kiffin signed a 10-year deal with Florida Atlantic. Didn't mean he had to stay for it.
Yeah,
and the
but
same would happen with John Gruden.
He didn't have the stink on him that. I mean, Lane had some stink on him. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He was still a young guy, and he's still a closer. And if you doubt that, do yourself a favor and go to Twitter and search Lane Kiffin girlfriend Egg Bowl. I love how he just does it. He gives no. He's got no falafels to give about what you think about him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So they beat Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl.
Yes.
Huge trophy. He goes out into the end zone and takes a picture with his girlfriend who looks, I don't know the young lady, but she looks to be about 25 years old.
Okay.
And yeah, she's just fine.
Yeah.
She looks very smart. I'm sure there's a great personality on her.
She showed up after the fat times, right? Lane Kiffin let himself go for a little bit.
Well, I mean, he still looks like he's been on a bender for about 6 months. His
he?
hair's always disheveled. He's wearing a visor. He looks like one of the weird Muppet.
Well, because he's dating a 25-year-old. He's tired. What do you get? I mean, give me a break.
Wrong. You're not wrong. And that
I am exhausted, okay?
That's the funniest thing you've said in a week. If for nothing else, I'm exhausted listening to her talk.
Oh.
Have you heard a 25-year-old talk lately? Good Lord. Punctuation, it's important in sentences. Don't just run them together.
Just give him a break. Jeez. Yeah, no. So John Gruden is on the...
I want it to happen.
What is this, a short list? Is this?
I want it to happen so bad. Common Sense ain't Common said the orange hair science Muppet. I can't remember his name. Is it Beaker?
Yeah.
The one that just goes,
yeah. Yeah.
That's what Lane Kiffin's hair looks like at all times.
Ah, I got you. Okay. Indiana, celebrity coach. Go get him. You'll be relevant for 5 seconds and then right back to the bottom of the Big Ten.
And that is 5 seconds more than you were relevant with Tom Allen, who you just paid $18.9 million to go away.
Very true.
Now, that to answer Rich's question, would I take a college job? Absolutely. With one of these Dana Holgerson level buyouts, that you'll pay me $15 million to go away. In. I also love that he said, I have an unavoidable buyout that they will never pay. And Tillman Fertitta went, you want to bet?
Mm-hmm.
You want to bet I won't pay?
Yes, I will.
I got more money than I got way more dollars than I got cents, and I'm tired of you and your comb over.
I dare you. Pay me $25 million to do nothing. I dare you. Just give me the opportunity. I'm waiting to go in front of the media and say that.
For $25 million, I'll let you hit me in the shorts region with a 9-iron every hour on the hour for the rest of my life.
Yep. All right, so Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, they're number one in the league, number one in your hearts. Well, maybe not in your hearts, but 10-1, pretty good.
That's the luckiest team I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but they're also really talented. And
they have a lot of talent.
The fact that you are so talented, and it's going to serve you right in pretty much every game that you're in. I said this at the end of or when we were doing the previews last week. Every game Philadelphia goes into, I feel like they should be a 3.5-point favorite just because of what you can come up with at the end of the game. If it's close, I'm not betting on any other team.
In the regular season, I agree with you. And there's nobody to impede Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. They're going to be the 1 seed. You're going to have to go in Philadelphia and beat them.
Yes.
The only thing I would be really remiss about if I was a Philadelphia fan is that Brian Johnson is really bad at this. I mean, I'm sure he's got a great story, had a great college career at Utah. If you didn't know that, just watch Philadelphia Eagle game. They'll point it out 5 or 6 times. He was also on the cover of a video game. They'll mention that 2 or 3 times, too.
He? Good for him.
The NCAA football game, he was the cover.
Good for him.
But he's not good at this. The defense is not – it's good in places and it's good at times. Kelvin Joyner, luck tends to happen to people that are prepared for the moment. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I wasn't surprised by how yesterday ended in the least. Buffalo let them hang around. You beat them senseless for 3 quarters, but you don't know how to win.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how to win.
You don't know how to win, and eventually you're going to get got. Eventually there's going to be that miscue that bites you.
That's the thing that would scare me about Philadelphia is that if every team, you never blow anybody out, ever. It's always close. You always need a play at the end. And Jalen's knee would be concerning me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's what my concern, quote unquote, means. You're going to have home field throughout the NFC playoffs. And I don't know that any of those NFC teams can come in your house and beat you. I don't buy San Francisco with Brock Purdy doing it. I don't really buy Detroit doing it, especially after Thanksgiving Day.
No doubt.
I mean, Dallas. Is Dallas the biggest threat to them?
Yes.
I'm not sure you're
actually,
wrong.
I believe San Francisco is the bigger threat.
I don't.
Dallas is there as well. I mean, I feel like you can lose to those guys. Like, I would not be shocked to see Philadelphia go and lose to the 49ers and the Cowboys back-to-back weeks, have a little, breakdown here at the end of the season. Everybody goes, oh, are they really good? And then they get into the playoffs and not necessarily steamroll them, but they take care of business. Nope. And they still end up in the Super Bowl.
And at this point, I can't bet against them being in the Super Bowl. I also look at the heavy hitters in the AFC, the teams that can get to a Super Bowl. I don't know who you're going to beat. Neutral field,
mm-hmm.
I don't know which one of those teams you're going to beat.
I don't either. I don't know. I mean, I would love to see it. Obviously,
you just played heads up. Yes, in a monsoon, I get it. With a team in the Buffalo Bills that I do not see a path that they even contend for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Eagles, Ravens would be a hell of a matchup. Eagles, Chiefs, again, I mean, I feel like they're real close.
Every team has a ward. So,
oh, yeah.
Philadelphia's got a very clear path to the NFC title.
Mm-hmm.
Am I overly impressed with them? No, I'm not. I'm not, and I think that's why I hate that stupid tush push so much, is because I know you're really just hiding for a great big deficiency that you have, and you're doing it in a legal way. And so I'm kind of old man yelling at clouds.
But what's the deficiency?
The deficiency is that I get in. I have a quarterback that's not a particularly good thrower of the football. All right, that's not changed from the minute I evaluated him coming in the draft till now. Can he do it? Yeah, any quarterback next to the NFL can.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he's elite at it? No. No, I don't. I think he's a great runner.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fantastic runner, maybe the best ever. Yesterday was the first game in NFL history that you had 2 quarterbacks that threw for multiple touchdowns and ran for multiple touchdowns. but I see a lot of similarity between Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, and I'm not sure what Jalen actually does better. I mean, ask yourself that question. Brian Haynes asked me that yesterday. What does Jalen Hurts do better than Josh Allen? And the only answer I have is not turn the ball over.
Yeah.
That's it. Josh Allen wins everything else.
But that's all Josh Allen needs, right? It's the only thing that we look at Josh Allen and go, what's his biggest problem? He can't keep the football from my team. He keeps giving it to the other team. Yesterday was another interception late in the game, bad situation. 8th straight game that's happened to Josh Allen.
Man, his good is so good.
Yes, it is. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Take a quick break. When we come back, Jeremy will give you his picks for the night, Monday Night Football.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Summit Dental is accepting new patients. At Summit, they submit insurance on your behalf and provide you with estimates, so you have everything you need to make an informed treatment decision. They also work with Care Credit, and they're happy to help you apply. Care Credit helps you pay for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. See why Summit Dental has so many 5-star reviews on Google. Book today at AshevilleSummitDental.com. In-house savings programs are also available. Book online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites.
Dinner's ready.
And the leftovers. With top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Final days to save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Ends November 29th.
Make it easy to navigate your health insurance coverage with #1 rated Hummingbird Insurance. Hummingbird provides free assistance for easy comparison shopping across multiple insurance carriers. Schedule a free consultation at hummingbirdins.com. Many qualify for $0 net premiums. Even high earners may qualify for tax credit subsidies. Don't wait to learn about your options. Enroll now for next year. Visit hummingbirdins.com. Hummingbird Insurance. Comparison shopping made easy.
Are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees and back? Joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love. It affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, giving you your life back. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this coming week. QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
Coffee store closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
We try to continue the winning with Monday Night Football. This is a wager don't watch because this game will be 100% unwatchable. Chicago Bears, 3-point dog tonight on Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings. Over under 43.5. I will take this to be much more high scoring than people think. I'm easily going over the 43.5. And I'm looking at a betting anomaly here. The money is overwhelmingly on Chicago. And the only reason I can think of why is Justin Fields is going to run all over them. Linebacking core is one of the biggest deficiencies on this team. I think Minnesota's a better team. But give me the Bears plus the 3 over the 43.5. You can take those wagers to betus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy to get a 125% deposit match and up to 30 risk-free wagers so you can bet football with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sun, breezy to windy and chilly out here this afternoon. Temperatures again well below average, 10 to 15 degrees below average with highs only in the low 40s. Breezy to windy and cold tonight, clear skies, upper 20s. Mix of clouds and sun, still a bit breezy to windy and cold tomorrow. Highs only in the upper 30s to near 40. Moderating temperatures through midweek, sunny and 50 Wednesday, sunny and mid-upper 50s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
You don't want to miss 60% off everything during the once-a-year Black Friday event, only at your nearest Banana Republic factory store. Bring home must-have styles and gifting favorites with limited-time deals from just $15.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways children of all ages can learn about sustainability and the environment at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth. iHeartRadio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. Reduce your impact on the environment this fall by packing a waste-free lunch for school or work. Avoid foods with excessive packaging. Use reusable cutlery, napkins, cups, bags, and containers, and recycle or compost any waste when possible. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
And we're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. You can watch us live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat and talk about all of your overreactions for the weekend.
And yes, we're going to get to the Denver Broncos. We're going to get to the Green Bay Packers. All the teams that people in the chat really want to hear Jeremy go, I was wrong. Don't necessarily know that you're going to get what you want there, but who knows? It's a crazy world we live in.
Right. But as we get closer to the end of the regular season here, awards talk always seems to come up. And what are you conflicted about NFC awards?
Well, I mean, they don't give out NFC awards, so they're NFL awards.
Whatever the NFL awards.
I was about to say, unless we're playing Madden here, I don't think they give those out. I'm not really conflicted over MVP because it's going to be Jalen Hurts because they play two teams for the rest of the year that actually could beat them. They're going to be the easy one seed in the NFC. So that one I'm not really. I am conflicted on coach. And that's what got me thinking about this. Do you realize that's been taken off the board in a slew of sports books? And there's only one reason that I could point to of why.
Because it's too close to call.
Because it's Sean Payton. Because if Sean Payton, and if you look at that schedule, it's awful workable. If coming off Nathaniel Hackett, he finds a way. I mean, they've won 5 in a row anyway.
Right.
They do still play the Texans and the Lions. Other than that, they've got 2 with the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Patriots. If he finds some way to go 11-6 with this team, him and D'Amico Ryans becomes a really difficult gauge.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's still D'Amico Ryans, and it's not all that close. Did you watch the Houston Texans? Have you seen this team over the last few years? And they're still really good. I know they lost yesterday. They're young.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a game where you got beat by a team that's more vet than you are. The Jacksonville Jaguars are ahead of the Texans by
a day. But
no, it's more than that. They've got about a year on them.
Right. I mean, I guess this weekend's game, Denver at Houston, is that going to settle the Coach of the Year?
If you had told me in Week 4 that the game of the week in Week 13 would be Texans Broncos, I would have asked, how many recreational crimes have you smoked today? But here we are.
Is that the game of the week? No, it's one of them.
It's
Seattle and Dallas on Thursday, which is.
Sorry, you were serious.
Give us something. Give us something to watch.
Yes, Seattle getting just boat raced again on national television on a Thursday. That is one thing that will give us.
49ers Eagles.
Oh, that's
I mean,
okay.
That.
That's the obvious one, but I'm digging deeper. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 49ers Eagles is the game of the week.
Yeah, so it's number 2.
But Broncos Texans is it's a good one.
3. Completely came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, Denver just starts winning games, and you look at it and you go, look at who they played, right?
Well,
but then you go,
well,
but they did have.
And in fairness, you can do that with practically anybody. Denver has gotten better week over week. All right, you caught them. You beat the Packers, who I'll go ahead and tell you I'm not overly impressed with. You can keep sending me snide things about Jordan Love. Ask yourself, this is the end-all, be-all question. If Tank got to hit his little button 5 minutes from now, and it was who's going to break the news, and the Green Bay Packers just gave Jordan Love a 4-year, $160 million deal, we would have to take your shoelaces away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know I'm right, no matter how many little smart-alecky comments you leave me. It's just the truth.
Yep.
It's the truth.
Yep. You're on a 5-game winning streak, though. You got wins against the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Browns in that 5-game stretch. I would have told you were crazy if you'd have told me that's the way that would have worked out at the beginning of the season. But are the buts so big with them that you still don't believe that Denver is, I guess, a good team?
It depends on what you're asking me. Are they going to finish above 500? Maybe. I would say the greatest likelihoods they finish 9-8 or 10-7. 10-7, you sneak in the backside of the playoffs, and then you get absolutely obliterated by a good team with a good quarterback. Yesterday, yes, you made the Cleveland Browns look bad. You also got to understand they didn't have Myles Garrett. I'm not saying he wasn't on the field, but he wasn't Myles Garrett, and it was super obvious.
Mm-hmm.
T's and P's, if there's no Myles Garrett, there is an open spot in the AFC playoffs because you take that defense away, whew, that offense is hard to watch.
Absolutely. That was the thing that scared me.
That was why when you took that as your bet your house pick, I went, Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Because there was no way.
Now, look, you're talking to a man that took Gardner Minshew, so
right.
I'm not averse to risk.
Look, there's no way that this Denver team is going to be able to score against that Cleveland defense. How could I have known, right? I felt like it was a good opportunity at the time. Everybody's riding high on Denver. Played the wrong narrative here. May just turn out Denver knows what they're doing. They've finally figured out a rhythm of some kind here.
Yeah, the rhythm is run the ball repeatedly. The line is pretty good.
And the defense has been stout.
The defense is That's okay. That's where I wanted to go. I'm glad you said that because that's where I wanted to go with Denver. They keep beating teams that have one option. One. The other side of that defense is still awful. The only problem is when you're going up against Elijah Moore and KJ Osborne and Gabriel Davis, who, he's cool. He's fun. Justin Watson. That's not really worrying me. Is Denver better than I thought they were? Yes. They're not one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL, which they appeared to be. The problem is that I feel like you have gone too far now now you're stuck with Russell. And that puts a definitive ceiling on your high side. You're never better than the 7 seed with Russell Wilson. You're not. I mean, if you want to be excited about that, I'm not going to blame you. All right? You're talking to a guy whose team's playing Tim Boyle. At this point, I would crawl to New Jersey on broken glass for Russell Wilson.
It depends on what you put around Russell, right? Like, I don't know what those pieces could be, but, I mean, if you put Russell Wilson.
Best he could be.
If you put Russell Wilson with the New York Jets, would you not feel like that's a Super Bowl contending team?
Good God, no.
Really?
Good God, no. Dink and dunk captain himself? No, I don't think I don't think he's in the top 8 of quarterbacks in the AFC. He's fine. He's fine. But you also know I'm not hey, we went 10-7. That was fun. No, I want to compete for Super Bowls, and Russell Wilson's not that guy.
Okay, put him with San Francisco. You don't feel better about them with Brock Purdy?
No, I don't.
Really?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Because I would. I would feel way better. I'm the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going into the playoffs, and you're going to give me Russell Wilson or Brock Purdy. Yeah, I'll take a Russell.
Brock Purdy stays on time and just never makes mistakes. And he's asked to do considerably more than Russell Wilson is right now. I just don't buy it.
Okay.
I mean, you're fine. You can sneak into the backside of the playoffs, and that's good for you. Woohoo! But I believe that's why the coach of the year is off the board, because between Dan Campbell, Sean Payton, D'Amico Ryans, they don't even know how to set the odds at this point. And it's still on a couple books. It's not on DraftKings. It's not on BetUs. It's not on a couple of the others that I've looked at today.
I would have a D'Amico at the top by a small margin over Sean Payton. Dan Campbell would have taken a considerable drop after this Packers game.
Well, you say and that's another layer of this, is you say considerable drop. They're next. Oh, we'll just go the rest of the year. Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings again. If people were selling Dan Campbell stock, I'll happily buy it. The other one that I'm really curious of, and we didn't talk about this before the show. It's not on the board either. In a lot of places. If you had to vote for Defensive Player of the Year right now, who is it?
Myles Garrett.
What if he doesn't play another game? Which is 100% on the board.
Do you go like Deron Bland?
That's the name I can't stop coming to.
I mean, the guy's got, 4 pick sixes this year? 5 pick sixes.
NFL record. NFL record.
It's hard to say no, right? You took Trayvon Diggs off of this defense, and everybody went, oh, no! Well, guess what? Deron Bland's now doing the same damn thing that Trayvon Diggs was doing. They're not playing the same position, but still, I mean, he's getting the splash plays.
Do you know how many receivers in the NFL have more receiving touchdowns than Deron Bland does? It's 15 in the entire league.
Nice.
And it's guys like Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Mark Andrews, Tank Dell, A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill. I think I would have to give it to it. And now, look, I understand it's a little biased because, yes, to be thrown at that often, you're getting beat from time to time. But still, has there been anybody that's more impactful? I mean, you've had 5 basic game enders. Because that Carolina game, it wasn't necessarily close. But it could have been.
Yeah. You put it away.
I mean, I feel like if Myles Garrett's done for the year, the Defensive Player of the Year is coming from the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't know if it's Micah Parsons or Deron Bland. And the only thing that would preclude that is them taking votes away from each other.
Right. And I don't know. I don't feel like we all know what Micah is, right? We all know he's just an amazing freak of an athlete and does the special things, but has he been doing them this year?
Oh, yeah.
Has he? I mean,
yeah.
Because I feel like Duran has taken most of the headlines, at least.
He has recently. But, I mean, yeah, Micah Parsons has still been an absolute animal. In our YouTube chat, I always love when we ask questions like this because it becomes real obvious who people pull for. Stephen Tao said Roquan Smith. Defense is real good. I could make the same argument for Kyle Hamilton.
Yes.
Who, by the way, you remember that thing that he ran slow at the combine and, he's going to be terrible. Yeah, it's weird. Weird how guys like that fall to Baltimore and then just become all pros.
And it took him a minute, but he's finally come around.
I saw him last night. They kept putting him on Jalen Guyton, of which Jalen Guyton is in this league for one primary reason, because he runs real fast. And they went, nope, Kyle Hamilton's fine. One-on-one. No big deal. Throw it to him. I dare you to. I want you to.
B. Malik says Max Crosby.
He's up there. He's definitely up there. Especially after yesterday. He was doubtful the entire week. Didn't practice. He's the first player in a year to play on a doubtful tag. He's a bad man, too. And the others are pretty easy. Offensive player of the year will be Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie of the year, C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Dream, do you know what his odds are right now to win Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Let's go with minus 2,500.
Higher.
Minus 5,000.
Higher.
Minus 10,000.
There it is.
All right.
And defensive rookie of the year, it's really a two-horse race. It's Jalen Carter and Devin Witherspoon. Will Anderson's on the periphery of that.
Yeah.
But that's the guys.
I mean, it might take us it would take a special run here at the end. Maybe,
I would also be remiss if I didn't point out you can get Aaron Rodgers as comeback player of the year right now for the low price of plus 10,000.
Oh.
And I'm not going to tell you that you ought not do that.
Is that one of those he makes a start?
He plays a snap, and he's the winner. You give me DeMar Hamlin until you're absolutely, for the rest of the day, you can give me a 10,000-word diatribe.
That was the easiest bet in the history of time at the beginning of the year, like preseason.
Yes.
And I think we've fizzled on that. Like, we've forgotten. Because you're not out.
He's still the favorite.
Is he still the favorite?
He's still the favorite, but not by much.
I was going to say, I mean, if you're just not out there, we're just not paying attention to you anymore.
He's Rob Johnson did have a good point. Tyreek Hill or Christian McCaffrey. Tyreek breaks the receiving record of Tim if Christian McCaffrey goes 1,000, which is on the board.
Okay.
Then it'll be him.
Yeah.
Pennywise said, what's the line for defensive rookie of the year? Jalen Carter's minus 240. Devin Witherspoon's plus 250. I would say Jalen Carter has no competition. I would agree with him on that.
No, and I would say a lot depends on how the rest of this goes. Like, Fletcher went out last night. So is he seriously hurt? Is he going to be gone for a while?
He didn't come back.
So
to me, none of that matters.
Well, I was going to say.
Because they play a rotation anyway. But Jalen Carter is that dude. And I really do need to say this. Hey, NFL, just since I brought up both of these names that would be in line for Player of the Year awards, stop letting teams like the Eagles and the Ravens wind up with guys like Jalen Carter and Kyle Hamilton. Maybe stop drafting like morons. Maybe hire some more intelligent people. And I didn't love Jalen Carter. I was in like with him, not in love with him. But you put him on the most talented front in the league, and yep, Warren Sapp. You were right.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 college football this weekend. Well,
I believe it's time for an appearance from one of our old friends. Maybe one with a little bit of a lisp.
I love that guy. Can't wait to hear what he has to say about Just for Men. Coming up next.
The Ingles Magical Christmas Toy Drive to benefit Eblin Charity's St. Nicholas Project is back at the Ingles on Smoky Park Highway. It all gets started Thursday at 6 a.m. and runs until Saturday at 12 noon. Won't you help put a smile on a child's face this holiday season? See you out there.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and Greenville.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. The best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
Honey, can you swing by the post office and grab some stamps?
Done.
And drop off these packages?
Sure thing, honey.
Ooh, and get the tracking info.
Got it.
But you haven't moved.
I know. How great is that?
This holiday season, the Postal Service is closer than ever with convenient ship-from-home services like label printing, free package pickup, and delivery notifications. You can send more holiday joy from the comfort of home. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Ship from home at USPS.com/holidayjoy.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, Em. Remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Hey, you got 10 minutes? Then you've got time for the new podcast, 10 Takes with Kyle Brandt. Every Monday, I give you 10 takes from the NFL, from the universe, and I give them to you in just 10 minutes. I'm telling you, you may just have the best time you've ever had listening to a podcast. It could be a crazy play I'm talking about. It could be how I hate child car seats and I don't know how to install them. You just never know. Listen to 10 Takes on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Sportsocracy. We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Regular season came to an end in college football this past weekend. It was the big showdown between Ohio State and Michigan. And in the end, ends up being the Michigan Wolverines coming out on top, being a little bit tougher than the old Buckeyes, weren't they?
Well. Look what the cat drug in. Old Just Ben himself loses in another big game. That's weird. Somebody, I believe, said that a few months ago. He wanted to talk all tough when he beat Notre Dame. Not talking so tough, are you now? All right, Dave.
Ohio State loses 30-24 to Michigan, and I mean, I watched a lot of this game. We were over at family's house, reconnecting, so I was in and out of watching the game. Me and my Uncle John just trying to catch every second we could until the ladies were like, "Will y'all come back out here and join the party?" Okay, whatever. 30-24, Michigan gets the win. And to me, it continued to just look like Michigan was the more powerful team. I felt like they controlled it throughout. It might have got close on the scoreboard, but it never really felt like Ohio State was ever going to win.
No, I never for a second feared. The only thing I feared was that Michigan wasn't going to cover. And when Kyle McCord got that ball down 6, I looked at HWA and I said, I know how this is going to end. I've read this book. And it did.
There's no way.
And it did. To me, this has not been – if you're an Ohio State fan, to me, you should be impressed that you kept that as close as you did. Because outside of Marvin Harrison Jr., it really just does not look like you belong on the field with them. And now Marvin Harrison Jr. is a dog. I can't wait to see what he can do with a competent quarterback. Just hope he finds one of those in the NFL playing for the New York Football Giants. At some point, you have to ask the question with Ryan Day. And everybody talks about his win-loss record and his ability to beat teams, except when they're in the top 10, which he never does, ever. He just doesn't do it. And he never adjusts. He never learns. And I don't know at what point does – and look, I know a lot of Ohio State fans, and virtually all of them have been just move on. I don't know for who.
But and see, that's where I keep coming back to. Okay, you feel like Ryan Day's not the guy. He's not the guy that's going to get the win in the big scenario. Who is that guy? Who can you bring in here? Can you just bring anybody in off the street and they'll go 11-1 with a talented team like this? I don't think so.
I do.
You do?
I think the way college football is currently constituted, and now this could change next year. You're adding 4 really, really quality teams to this conference next year. But with the way it's sitting right now, I'm not sure I couldn't coach Ohio State to 9-3. Pretty sure I could get them to 10-2 because Kyle McCord would throw markedly less. But I do think you have to ask the question. I heard all weekend long that Texas A&M was going to make a run at Ryan Day. And the only thing I could think of was, good God, why? A, why would he listen to you? B, why do you think that he would listen to you? And C, why is that what you're after? I can't figure it out. Ryan Day is, to me, the definition of the big kid in the 4th grade that picks on the smaller kids. And then he gets into a fight. And for whatever reason, I'm seeing Eric Cartman in my head. Maybe that's my own bias because I can't stand Ryan Day. But as soon as somebody's willing to throw a punch, they punch him right in the face and he cries. Your whole job is beating Michigan, and he can't do it. And I got news for you. If Jim Harbaugh doesn't leave, it's not going to change anytime soon. And I'll go a step further. I'm not sure it'll change with Sharon Moore. If Jim Harbaugh left for the NFL right now and you told me Sharon Moore took that job over, I'm not sure he wouldn't beat Ryan Day.
No.
Probably not as consistently. He wouldn't do it 3 years in a row. But Ryan Day is, and I hate to give Dave Portnoy and Jim Harbaugh and all the guys that have said this, I hate to give you your platitudes of being right, but he was born on third base and acts like he hit a triple. At Ohio State, you would have to be the biggest idiot on the planet to not be able to recruit a top 10 recruiting class every single year.
You have all the resources for it.
You have all the money in the world. And yet, every single year to me, it seems like Ohio State has that one great big yeah, but. You've got talent. You've always had talent. You get out-coached. You got out-coached by Sharon Moore, who had never – he's coached, 4 games in his life as a head coach? And it was abundantly obvious to me that they're not going to beat themselves. They're going to wait on you to beat yourself. And they did. And they did.
Ohio State is in the same spot that Michigan was in 3 years ago, right?
810 Media Group beat me to my point.
What?
They beat me to my point. In the YouTube chat, 810 Media Group said Ohio State equals the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. They are a huge national brand.
Yep.
They're always relevant. I never feel like they're the best team in the country. I haven't for 1 second all year have I looked at Michigan and looked at Ohio State and said that team is better than that team. Not once. I do it with Georgia. I do it with, frankly, I've done it with Florida State. Now with Tate Rodemaker. Okay.
Maybe not.
Don't feel so great about that.
Yeah. Also points out Ryan Day is Mike McCarthy. I mean, you can say that about any coach who just isn't good enough. Like he may be a great coach. He may be a good culture guy, may do all the right things, have all the right plans, but in that split moment, if he can't make that one decision that gets you the win, in a big-time moment, which it appears Ryan Day can't do, then what do you really have?
You have a coach that can consistently beat the Minnesotas and the Michigan States and teams like that.
I have 7 losses to my credit in 5.5 years of coaching. That's pretty damn good.
Well, the problem is, how many of those games could you have lost?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and this is the best way I could explain it. If I gave you the Denver Nuggets and I took the dream team, how much smarter than me do you have to be to have any prayer of beating me?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do week in and week out. I am so much better than you at every position. It doesn't matter who the coach is. Urban Meyer set you up here. He set this up for whoever took this job was going to be in an absolute no-lose proposition. The problem is that now you've gotten to a point of you're going to have to make the step. You're going to have to be able to recruit the guy. And Kyle McCord is not the guy. That's a Ryan Day decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to keep butting up against this. And the question is, as Ohio State, when do you get tired of it? When do you look at this and go, you know what? If this job opened up, every coach in America would be falling all over themselves to get a call from us. You asked who would it be? I don't know. But let me ask you this question. How many coaches in America do you think Ryan Day is? How many coaches in America do you think are better than Ryan Day?
I'd say that list very short.
I don't think it is.
Really?
I don't think it is. I think I could get to 15 or 20. I think I could get to 15 or 20.
Okay.
Because I'm not overly impressed with when you can beat on Little Sisters of Mercy at like Minnesota, who has a tenth of your budget. PJ Fleck's a better coach than Ryan Day, and I don't even think it's debatable.
Okay.
PJ Fleck's the head coach at Ohio State. You would have won one of these 3. I promise you. I promise you. He's just a better coach. He does more with less.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Day does less with more. And for me, I'm good. I'm good. But you could be losing Jim Harbaugh to the NFL, and then this rivalry becomes more intriguing to me.
Well, I mean, and then it goes back to what it was, which was just Ohio State beats Michigan year in and year out.
Right. I don't think you're right.
You think?
I think Jim Harbaugh no. I don't think we're ever going. Once Harbaugh's gone, I don't think there's a piece on the board that is so much better so much better than who they're coming up against. That's what I see with Michigan. They're better coached. Even with no Harbaugh there during the day or during the game. And it was so obvious to me in his first press conference back, he said, I'd say welcome back, but I never left. All I'm doing is putting the game plan in place and telling Sharon Moore and all these other guys, hey, go do my bidding. And they're smart enough to do that. Hey, that's what Ryan Day's been doing at Ohio State for 5 years. Because Urban Meyer did the exact same thing. Are they better at anything today than they were when Urban left? No. No. You were handed the keys to a palace that really all you had to do was not set it on fire. And that's fine. You have all of these wonderful things that Urban Meyer put in place. The problem is if you buy a house and everything is hunky-dunky and you don't have to do anything, eventually the refrigerator is going to go out Eventually, you're going to have to replace a dishwasher. Eventually, you're going to have to lay some new tile. And if you don't know how to do that, that house will erode over time. And that's where I'm at with Ohio State. You can hammer Michigan State. You'll always be able to hammer Michigan State. I don't care who they hire.
Mm-hmm.
You're Ohio State. They're not. Can you win national titles? No. No. With Ryan Day, you cannot win national titles, and that is the ultimate goal.
And you don't think they'll ever be able to?
No, because I don't think he's that good of a coach.
Okay. All right.
I just struggle to believe he's ever going to get to a point where he's beating Nick Saban or Kirby Smart, and then, oh, by the way, you got to do it again. The 12-team playoff, there's no coach in America that benefits less from a 12-team playoff than Ryan Day. Because now I don't just have to beat 2 of you. Now I got to beat 3 of you. And every single year, I'm going to come across 2 that are, no matter how good I am, no matter how good my record is, no matter how good my seeding is, I'm going to come up against, I'll give you to me, the perfect example. Willie Fritz at Tulane. He's a better coach than Ryan Day, and I'm not sure it's all that close. Does Tulane have the talent to come in and beat him? No. But could he out-coach you to such a point that they keep it competitive and maybe they get lucky and beat you? Sure. And then your reward is that now you get to go through Jim Harbaugh and Kirby Smart and Nick Saban and Mike Norvell and all these other coaches that are just flat out better than you. You're an offensive coordinator masquerading as a head coach. And you could be the greatest coach in the history of Maryland's program. The problem is you're going to be a footnote in the history of Ohio State. And you'll be that coach that, we had so much talent, so many guys that went to the NFL, and they were so good. Because that's how we're going to remember Ryan Day. 5 years from now, you're going to look at him and go, man, he had one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He had 3 of the best receivers in the NFL. Because look what's already there and look what's heading there.
Mm-hmm.
When we do that, hey, look at the 2022 Ohio State Buckeyes, you're going to look at that roster and go, I'm not sure Kermit the Frog couldn't have won a national title with us because they all went to the league and got better. That's the ultimate sign of a coach that's in over his skis. And that's what I see in Ryan Day.
Okay. All right. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sun, breezy to windy and chilly out here this afternoon. Temperatures again well below average, 10 to 15 degrees below average with highs only in the low 40s. Breezy to windy and cold tonight, clear skies, upper 20s. Mix of clouds and sun, still a bit breezy to windy and cold tomorrow. Highs only in the upper 30s to near 40. Moderating temperatures through midweek, sunny and 50 Wednesday, sunny and mid-upper 50s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Cyber Monday is Dell's biggest sale of the year. Get limited time deals, free shipping, and huge savings on laptops like the XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
You don't want to miss 60% off everything during the once-a-year Black Friday event, only at your nearest Banana Republic factory store. Bring home must-have styles and gifting favorites with limited-time deals from just $15.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand-name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
It's the 4th annual Ugly Sweater Run 5K and 10K presented by Hunter Subaru. Saturday, December the 2nd at the Riveter in Asheville. Runners and walkers don their most outrageously festive and tacky outfits, making this the most festive race of the year. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just looking for some holiday fun, the Ugly Sweater Run is the perfect way to celebrate the season, spread joy, and create lasting memories. For more information and to get signed up, go to idaph.net, idaph.net. Proudly sponsored by 97.7 The Brew, Asheville's Christmas station.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
It's ESPN Asheville back in the Sportsocracy. And this was definitely something I did not expect to be relaying today. We try to stay away from hot button political issues on this show. But there is one that has risen back.
I mean, I make jokes about them.
Right. But there's one that's risen back. Apparently, there's a fight going on currently over the Confederate flag at the Grand Ole Opry. Only it's not that Grand Ole Opry. Did you know that there are 2 Grand Ole Opries?
I did.
You know where the other one is?
I do not.
It's in Scotland. There's a Grand Ole Opry in Glasgow, Scotland. There's a whole group there that has recreated the Grand Ole Opry, or at least their version of the Grand Ole Opry, and it is apparently where people from Scotland go and put their, boot scooting boogie shoes on, and they get all dressed up like they are American rednecks, I guess, or what their image of it is. There's a picture here, and I don't know if they're having some kind of just special club or if it looks like this every night of the week, but they're all wearing their Confederate flag button-up T-shirts, and they're doing a line dance with the flag and all of that. It feels very caricature of what they think a country western bar is supposed to look like in America or something. But anyway, apparently they were supposed to have some theater group come through and do a performance, and they said, no, we can't come here because there's the Confederate flag everywhere, and that's obviously a symbol of racism and all of that, and we can't perform here. I never thought we'd have to have this fight on foreign soil about the American Confederate flag. It's very weird. It's like how people here embrace the royal family.
I've always thought that's insane.
Why you do that? It's not your fight to fight or your problem to care about.
Well, you said theater group,
weird,
which means they have the Civil War or the Civil War. They have the. I saw the Oregon State coach, and my brain works in a weird way. They have the Grand Ole Opry wrong. You're bringing in a theater group. You did that wrong.
Well, that's true.
Because the Grand Ole Opry is basically, she broke my heart, so I broke a chair. Wrecked my car, and dog ran away. And I love country music.
Right. I don't know what kind of play they were wanting to put on there, but apparently they were trying to do a play. The troop said no. And now they are for real, having a full-on fight between the heads of the group at the Grand Ole Opry in Glasgow, Scotland, over whether or not to ban the Confederate flag.
Weird. Yeah. Unless it was a spirited reenactment of Deliverance with bagpipes, I think you did it right. Were you watching Red Zone last night?
Part of it.
I spent that's how Sundays work for me. I just throw on Red Zone because my team, well, they're bad. This week they played on Friday, so I just want to watch all the games. Well, about 6:30 last night, a weird thing happened.
Okay.
Scott Hansen, the voice of NFL Red Zone, there had been an alarm that was going off in the background for quite some time. And he finally comes back. This is right in the heat of Philadelphia and Buffalo. And says, we're being told we need to evacuate the building. We don't know the nature of the emergency. It's something absolutely unprecedented for us. Then he didn't speak for a while. It was an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they had all evacuated the building and we were just being left to our own devices. Like there was some dude in the truck that's just going, and now we go to that game. And now we go to that game. And nobody's going to say anything. He comes back, and he basically said, I've been told that I can stay. There's no imminent threat. We're good.
The time you didn't hear him was the time that he was arguing with the person in the fire marshal or whoever.
Yeah, he was
out
telling the
hallway.
fire marshal, 7 hours of commercial-free football. I bet he just did that like 8 times in a row.
No doubt.
Like, didn't even make another argument. Just, it can be on fire. This is 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what happens. It's what we do.
We've actually had that fight before.
Who's we?
iHeart. We've had that fight before. It happened at a radio station I was at. Fire alarm's going off. Fire marshal wants you to leave the building. Sorry, I'm live on the air. Can't do nothing. I think it was like election night or something. And we just, nah. You owe it to your listeners, right? Especially if you're in the, I get it. Scott Hansen, he's committed to the brand here. He only gets to do this one time a week, and I'm not going to let somebody pull in a fire alarm ruin it for me.
Yeah, Scott Hansen's like, look, the career longevity I have is not great. There's not a lot of call for what I do. Really works for Red Zone, and that's about it.
Right.
He's not going to be taking over Mad Money for Jim Cramer.
Nah, you never know. You
Oh,
never
he's
know
not that
how
crazy.
you never know how a broadcasting career can evolve over the years. Never know.
Yeah, mine's probably not going to evolve. I'm going to be the guy that many of you hate. That's my role. That's what I do.
You're going to be the guy who has a heart attack on the air is what's going to happen.
No, I'm back to keto. I'll be fine. I survived Thanksgiving, which was really my biggest fear.
Just because of the family or
No.
because of the
family's fine.
stress? Or
No, because I was eating like a long-haul truck driver for 11 days.
But that's no different than any other day.
It has been.
You're conditioned. You're conditioned for it.
We have
breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yes, that's what I was hoping you would say.
Break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This was shared by Ian Rappaport. Vic Taper, maybe? Was
Okay.
the one that first had this. The Las Vegas Raiders have released Marcus Peters. He was benched yesterday. And that was a perfect segue into something that I wanted to talk about here, which is Antonio Pierce should, no doubt,
Get the job?
Tim Raymond said I butchered his name. You want me to tell you why? I can tell you why. Because there was one time on this show that I saw a name like that, and it had been retweeted, and I didn't realize that it was a bad word, and I said it. So I had to be real careful right there because I was doing all of the.
Yep.
Well, how do I say this feller's name?
Indeed, yeah. By the way, don't ever repeat news from Mike Roch. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Ian Hartitz.
Yeah, exactly.
His name's not an obscenity. It is if you abbreviate the first name.
Let's see.
2 years it took me to figure that out. That's not his real name. I didn't know it until I saw his Twitter handle, and then I went, I've done that a lot. Old Barry M. He's another one that you got to be careful quoting him on the air.
I love Barry. He's very good.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Twitter, type that in. You'll figure it out pretty quick.
Antonio Pierce. He's the difference maker that the Las Vegas Raiders need.
That's a good team. That's a good team. They just are. I mean, you've got Deputy Farva playing quarterback, which is, well, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a big arm, but he's a rookie. And so, before I move topics,
you know the answer to this. Just move on. No, they're not. They're not good. You sent out that text yesterday. Oh, anybody ready to back off on the Raiders aren't good? It was 14-0. And what was the score? 31-17. That tells me that's not a good team.
And if they're not good, it would have never been 14-0 against one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah,
now you're playing with a fourth-round rookie with a head coach that took over for a guy that was fired.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I said that was I was hoping at some point you were going to say something that was in the borderline of a cognitive thought about the Raiders. Because you have become literally so blinded by your – I don't know if it's hatred. I don't know what it is. This have nothing to do with you. But this is now the second time in 3 years that you have looked at a team that I feel like this is pretty obvious. I don't feel like this is hard to see. And you did it with that previous team, and you're doing it now, and I can't wrap my brain around that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't – I mean this the nicest way possible. You're smarter than this.
Mm-hmm.
Roster for roster right now, they're exponentially better than the Denver Broncos, and it ain't all that close. Now, Sean Payton's a better coach than Antonio Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some things that happened yesterday that I went, yeah, a veteran play caller wouldn't have done that. But to say this team's not good, to me, is just absolutely ludicrous.
Okay. Again, I think you have fine players. But I'm never gonna get behind you and feel like you can actually win a game against a good team. And to me, that's what makes a good team. If you can't beat good teams, then you're not one, right?
Well, I have a funny feeling you're getting ready to beat a couple of them.
Maybe. Who are they going to beat?
Oh, I will take him. I'll take him for anything you want against Minnesota this week. I'll take him with anything you want against the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get two games that could be play-ins to the playoffs because they play both the horsey teams. Not with the Chiefs.
Oh, the Colts and the Broncos. Okay.
I mean, yeah, you're in a much tougher. All right, let me see if I can get you on the right track by saying this.
Okay.
Where would they be in the AFC? Or excuse me, where would they be in the NFC? How many teams in the NFC are better than the Raiders?
Oh.
There's a number that if you say a number higher than that, I'm just going to laugh and move on.
Oh, maybe 5.
5's too high. 4 was the number I had.
Okay. So you got San Francisco.
Dallas, Philadelphia, Detroit. End of message, repeat the line. I don't think there's another team that's even in the ballpark.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Because the NFC is bad.
That they are. I would have Seattle ahead of them.
I wouldn't. I don't think it's close. I don't even think it's – I think if the Raiders and the Seahawks played each other, I honest to God think the Raiders would beat them by 20.
Really?
AFC, NFC. One of these teams has had to play the AFC all year long, and they've been competitive outside of Josh McDaniels.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle gets obliterated by every team that's decent to good. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is, it's funny. Why is it that some teams can find a quarterback in the weirdest places and some of them can't? We've had 10 rookies play this year. All of them with at least a modicum of success, except Jaron Hall, who got obliterated 5 seconds into his first start. And yet, we still have the New England Patriots and the New York Jets who just seem to be looking at quarterback going, I don't know where to find a coherent quarterback because we don't have one. So infuriating.
Yep.
to watch Dorian Thompson-Robinson be a coherent quarterback. Meanwhile, Mac Jones and Tim Boyle. I hate my team so much.
It's disgusting. It is disgusting. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going far, right?
Well, I mean, neither one of those teams I just said would go far with anybody at quarterback. I just would really like to have one that doesn't go, hey, we're going to throw a 50-yard Hail Mary, and I'm going to throw it 45 yards. I can throw a football 40 yards, and I talk about football on the radio. You get paid to play quarterback, and you beat me by about the width of the room I'm sitting in.
And you
right
should
now.
be better than that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I understand the thought. It is terribly frustrating.
Your team has the same problem.
What?
Your team has the same problem.
With what? That we suck?
Competent quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Awful.
There are a handful of teams that, like any other quarterback, and you probably make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Other than what you have.
But no, we get Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! And somehow still in the hunt for the division.
Colin Greene said, Jeremy, it could be worse. You could have Derek Carr instead of Tim Boyle. I would crawl to New Orleans on broken glass for Derek Carr. And then I would let him stand on my back while I crawled back to New Jersey, and he could stand there like he was surfing. You could tell me Colin Greene was going to be our new quarterback. I have no idea what that man's dimensions are, and I don't care.
Right.
He could be 5'4" he's got an arm that he can throw it 17 yards. That's better than Tim Boyle.
Mm-hmm. Big surprises this year. I mean, yeah, the Raiders are not a one-win team. Good job. But I still look at you and I don't think you're good. I don't think Denver's all that good. I don't think Indianapolis is all that good. I mean, yeah, they got winning records, and yeah, they're in the hunt for the playoffs. But
you are what your record says you are.
Still don't believe you're all that good.
You are what your record says you are.
Mm-hmm.
You watch the games, and it, to me, is abundantly clear that had the Raiders not come into the season with Josh McDaniels, that would be a playoff team.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This ESPN Asheville. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because you know, mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Ingersoll Rand, and Metaltech in-store or at northerntool.com.
Don't let unused insurance dollars go to waste. Most insurance plans cover 2 dental cleanings and exams each year before expiring on January 1st. Maximize the dental insurance benefits you're already paying for and schedule your exam today with Asheville Smiles. Dr. Merrill's mission is world-class dental through technology and research. You'll get the most advanced treatment with the comforts of home. Schedule your exam now before the end of the year rush. AshevilleSmiles.com. That's AshevilleSmiles.com.
iHeartRadio is your #1 app for the holidays. Just open the app and search iHeart Holiday and start listening now. You'll see your local holiday radio station, plus all kinds of other holiday stations, playlists, and podcasts. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Hear that? That's the sound of new digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Now, you can play right from your phone and win real cash prizes. It may all sound new, but winning, oh yeah, big money, is as thrilling as ever. Register to play digital instants for a whole new way to win. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Monday Night Football. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. I had to dig real deep just to find things here that I actually wanted to wager on. In the first hour, I gave you Chicago Bears. I'll go one step further for a parlay. I'll take the Bears in the money line. I'm going over 43.5. Justin Fields, anytime touchdown scorer. Over 56.5 rushing yards for Justin Fields. Over 38.5 for Josh Dobbs. And Chicago Bears race to 10. You put 5 on that, just like I am. Take it to betus.com. Pays out $155 US. And if you go to betus.com, use our promo code Sportsocracy to get 125% deposit match and up to 30 risk-free wagers so you can bet football with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sun, breezy to windy and chilly out here this afternoon. Temperatures again well below average, 10 to 15 degrees below average with highs only in the low 40s. Breezy to windy and cold tonight, clear skies, upper 20s. Mix of clouds and sun, still a bit breezy to windy and cold tomorrow. Highs only in the upper 30s to near 40. Moderating temperatures through midweek, sunny and 50 Wednesday, sunny and mid-upper 50s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. Reduce your impact on the environment this fall by packing a waste-free lunch for school or work. Avoid foods with excessive packaging. Use reusable cutlery, napkins, cups, bags, and containers, and recycle or compost any waste when possible. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth. Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways children of all ages can learn about sustainability and the environment at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Traffic can slow you down, and so can COVID-19. Don't delay. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you're at high risk, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com, sponsored by Pfizer.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor. While others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites.
Dinner's ready.
And the leftovers. With top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Final days to save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Ends November 29th.
The Ingles Magical Christmas Toy Drive to benefit Eblen Charity's St. Nicholas Project is back at the Ingles on Smoky Park Highway. It all gets started Thursday at 6 a.m. and runs until Saturday at 12 noon. Won't you help put a smile on a child's face this holiday season? See you out there.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. And the Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. You can take us with you everywhere. You can watch us everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. You can get the super chats in, all your thoughts on an Overreaction Monday or any day of the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Now, top of the third hour of a Monday, we always do the stock up, stock down daily draft. It's been a big weekend, obviously, with the end of the college football regular season. You've got championship games coming up this weekend. Obviously, just went through the smorgasbord of football action from the NFL. You got coaches being fired and hired left and right. It's a lot to sort through. Of course, the big news of today, Frank Reich fired by the Carolina Panthers. First pick for stock up, stock down, though, belongs to Jeremy because, well, I mean, he got the best of the where are we going to go this weekend draft.
I believe that's because Tank tapped out on it and took Jacksonville State.
I did.
Ahead of Auburn, Alabama. Which I don't have to even tell you anything else I had to tell you that was incorrect.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So, I figure I might as well start with a stock up. It's the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Now, I want to put this stock up into a bit of a parameter.
Okay.
Russell Wilson is not doing a lot. You're living with the defense. You're living with the ability to run the ball. I don't value what you're doing to be long-term sustainable. Now, I thought you were already going to be eliminated from playoff contention. So you're light years ahead of where I thought you would be. But let me give you just for a point of comparison. Russell Wilson has 20 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
C.J. Stroud has 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. We can both agree that 19 is less than 20, correct?
Yes.
So Russell Wilson has more touchdowns.
Yes.
4 is less than 5. He has less interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
C.J. Stroud's QBR is 10 points higher. There's a reason for that. Because Russell Wilson is doing absolutely nothing to challenge you down the field. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, and this is what Sean Payton has conspired of this is how this is going to succeed, I get it. I will just tell you that moving forward, your ceiling here is getting in as the 7th seed and getting absolutely annihilated in the first round of the playoffs. Because that's how it'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look around, that means you're going to play, that Miami team that beat you 70-20. I'm well aware that this is a different squad than it was then. I get that. If you think you would beat them, I have a bridge to sell you. But you are competitive for a playoff spot, and there is a merit to that. To me, there may be no more interesting storyline in this offseason than if Sean Payton tries to move off Russell Wilson. Any other GM, any other coach, you wouldn't have the ability to.
He does.
He does.
He does.
Because if he's thinking what I think he is thinking, he'll do it in a heartbeat. I'll take the dead money. I don't care. I know I can't win a Super Bowl this way, and I'm not just here to be the 7th seed in the AFC.
No, he's here to prove a point. I mean, if he is the coach that we all have been sold that he is, and we've had our moments of doubt, right? But he's taken a roster that we all doubted, and he's turned them into a playoff contender here beyond all real comprehension. I mean, that plays into the narrative that we were sold, right? That Sean Payton is one of the best coaches out there in the game and that he is, borderline all-timer if you don't think he's already in that discussion. And he has all of the ability to win some games with a bad team. And now he's not going to go into next year with the same bad team. He'll want to improve it. And everything's on the table.
Hit your button.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This comes from Tom Pelissero. In addition to Frank Reich, the Carolina Panthers have also fired Josh McCown and Deuce Staley.
Huh. Hell of an all-star cast they put together to coach that team, wasn't it?
They're all Josh McCown, I don't know how good of a coach he is. I know how good of a backup quarterback he was.
Mm-hmm. Well, hell, they wanted to remember they talked about making him the head coach in Houston.
I know Deuce Staley has long been – this just – to me, this really feels like – I feel like David Tepper's looking at this franchise and going, well, the kitchen's on fire, and he just went and flushed the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's shopping for new refrigerators. I don't know. I don't know how to justify this anymore.
You should have You should have seen this was coming. I mean, we said earlier today when we were off the air, he's going to clean house, and no one's going to survive.
I just don't really understand the point of doing it now. I mean,
that's a great question.
Okay, all right. Let me phrase this a different way. Maybe you'll understand where my brain's coming from. If you think Josh McCown and Deuce Staley are your problems here, then maybe we should have an IQ test to buy NFL teams.
Mm-hmm.
David Tepper is, and I've used this comparison before, but I can't stop doing it. I came from the restaurant business at one time. That's what I did. And David Tepper is really starting to remind me of the guy that makes all of his money in real estate and goes, hey, it'd be cool to buy a bar. Well, the problem is that you don't know jack squat about running a bar. Just because you're smart and you made money doing something else does not mean you're good at everything. And there is nothing worse than having a bad owner.
Mm-hmm.
That's a terrible decision. Terrible. And here's the next layer of that. I heard, or I saw that they were talking about this on NFL Network earlier. If you don't think assistant coaches around the league are looking at this and going, what a train wreck. Deuce Staley, who has long been thought to be one day a head coaching candidate, Josh McCown, who has been a head coaching candidate, for Houston, in flux, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you think assistants around this league aren't looking at this going, this dude's out of his damn mind, and pulls the trigger on the first thing that comes to his brain, you're out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
The number one thing, and Tank, you can attest to this, I got a lot of friends that work in this league, fact or fiction.
Fact.
One of the first things they talk about when they start looking into other jobs is how stable the ownership is and how stable the front office is. Is there a team in the NFL with a less stable owner and a less stable front office right now? And if so, I dare you to name it.
No.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, less stable owner. What do you mean, like in his mind? Because he's not going anywhere.
No,
I mean,
and that's the thing. The owner is the one thing you can't change.
Exactly.
And I was the last one to get on the David Tepper is the problem. Your handling of this, your handling of Matt Rule, your handling of things I heard before the season even started. Okay, yep, I'm on board. You got me.
Yeah,
I'm there.
There's only so many times that you can go down this path and that you can do these things before we all got to look at the common denominator, right? We all learned that in what was that, 3rd, 4th grade when we were doing fractions and you learned about common denominators. It doesn't take long for you to look at it and go, yeah, you're probably the problem, not them.
Wow.
He's at a very, it's just at a very weird spot that you didn't expect, right? You didn't expect they'd be here now. Because you went out and you dropped all of the money. You know, he basically did what I've already said today he needs to do again, which I feel like is the only way out, is to keep spending the money and try to spend your way out of this problem, because I don't have any faith that you're going to find the guy who can change it.
Ian Rappaport.
Without it.
This just got dumber.
Oh, wow.
Ian Rappaport just tweeted that the decision to move on from Deuce Staley and Josh McCown,
mm-hmm.
Who do you think that was made by?
Scott Fitterer.
Dumber.
Craig Stevens in the ticket office.
Almost as dumb.
What is it?
Chris Tabor and Jim Caldwell. That's who you just emboldened to make this decision. A special teams coordinator that's got one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel because, oh, by the way, you haven't been good on special teams either. And Jim Caldwell, who I will promise you is not here 2 months from now. What dysfunction to the highest level.
There has to be more to this.
Wow.
There has to be more to this that.
But even if there's not, let's just say there's not. Just look at the optics of it. You have an owner that literally came out of the locker room yesterday spewing obscenities. The next day, he goes on a firing spree to fire Frank Reich, Deuce Staley, and Josh McCown. 3 guys that are pretty well respected in this league. How's that make you look?
Horrible. It makes you look like buffoons.
It makes you look like you're very impatient, and that roster is going to require patience. It's a terrible look.
Mm-hmm.
It's a terrible look.
And I didn't think it could get worse.
I didn't either.
I didn't think it could get worse for the Carolina Panthers. But somehow, some way it has. Like, David Tepper goes out and spends all of the money to get the All-Star. He got the dream team, right? It's like you're setting up, look at the O.J. Simpson case. Like all of those superstar lawyers that he got. That's what David Tepper did with this coaching staff. He went out and got all the hottest names that he could get to agree to come in. As you said, Deuce Staley, who's been a head coaching candidate. Josh McCown, who was a head coaching candidate. Ajiro Rivero, who got, head coaching nods. You went out and got Jim Caldwell, who's a well-respected former head coach in this league. Frank Reich, who was, former coach in this league. I'm not going to say well-respected because there were a lot of people who were on the fence with him about the
As a head
Indianapolis
coach, he's
thing.
well-respected in the league service.
Oh, no
He'll be
doubt.
unemployed. If he wants a job, he'll be unemployed for 5 seconds.
No doubt. But what I'm saying is you went out and got the all-star group that was supposed to come in here and change the culture and fix all of the things because that was the one thing that you didn't have with Matt Rule. And now you've given up on it 11 games in, which, I feel like it's the wrong time to make this decision.
Well,
but it also wasn't getting any better. So that was the what are you supposed to do? Let it ride?
I love analogies. And this is officially to the point of the buddy that we all have that every woman he dates is crazy. Which makes more sense. That the only women that will date you are crazy or that you drive them crazy. Either way, it's bad. There's not a positive in that either way. That's where David Tepper's at. And you've brought all of this on yourself.
Yeah.
I have absolutely there's no animus here. I want this team to be good. Well, no, I'm a lifelong Jets fan, so it's not like I'm coming from a fan perspective here. I want this team to be good. But I'm looking at David Tepper going, man, this is feeling real Daniel Snyder-y real fast. Because if you remember, this is what he did in the beginning. Now, he went into much more salacious things, and I don't think David Tepper would do that. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just this is like 101 bad owner handbook. You've done it all in one day.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This ESPN Asheville will continue with the daily draft. Take a quick break. Come back with my first selection.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at the Asheville Mall as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations, donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Mall so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this holiday season.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Halloween is over, but hiring is still scary. Indeed's end-to-end solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways children of all ages can learn about sustainability and the environment at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth. iHeartRadio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. Reduce your impact on the environment this fall by packing a waste-free lunch for school or work. Avoid foods with excessive packaging. Use reusable cutlery, napkins, cups, bags, and containers, and recycle or compost any waste when possible. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand, the best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
Amazon's got the best deals on Black Friday. Oh, the best deals are on Cyber Monday. Friday comes first when it comes to saving. Monday's worth the wait for what you've been craving. Deals so good it'll feel like stealing. Real cool message, could you make it less appealing? What's with the beef? You can get that too. Won't you call us? What's triggering you? Whichever day you're shopping on, you'll save a bunch at Amazon. On Black Friday, Cyber Monday too.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The daily draft is underway. First selection by Jeremy, stock up for the Denver Broncos. And then we had the breaking news that the firings in Charlotte with the Carolina Panthers gotten even deeper. So let's continue with the daily draft here. My first selection, I'm going to start with a stock down, and I'll start with Ohio State. Third straight loss against Michigan, and I mean, eventually you have to come around to the side of, yeah, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to find a new coach. I guess people who aren't raised in this, right? I because I look at myself, like I've been a fan of the Tar Heels as a younger gentleman, and then as an older college football fan, didn't watch the Tar Heels because they sucked, and married a Georgia fan, so married into it, I guess. But there was a time where if we had a coach that was continually going 11-1 and 10-2 routinely, be completely fine with that. But the expectation's higher at Ohio State, I guess. And you can't lose to the rival. Ohio State, you're not used to that, right? It's what, 16-6, I think you are now against them since 2000?
Nothing funnier to me happened over the weekend than watching the entire pregame. And how Ohio State basically phrases this. Ryan Day, all of the alumni of, well, if you lose to Michigan, then the rest of the season just doesn't matter. And then you did.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're trying to put lipstick on the pig of, well, we should still make the playoff. Let me make this as perfectly clear to you as I can. There's a better shot of Tulane making the playoff than you.
Yes.
Not going to happen. Not going to, unless super chaos happens and Florida State loses to Louisville, Alabama loses to Georgia, and Texas loses to
Iowa. No. Who are they playing?
I don't.
Oklahoma State.
Is it Oklahoma?
I think they're playing Oklahoma State.
Oh, who just? Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, Oklahoma State.
Oh, that's bad. Bad. You need all three of those things to happen. Not one, not two, but all three.
Mm-hmm. Ain't gonna work. And you lost your spot in the college football playoff because of it. And now the question is, are you going to fire Ryan Day because of it? And two, what do you get after that?
Well,
bring in the next guy. What if,
I don't think
what
you
if
can
he
do
don't
that.
do it?
I don't think you can do that yet.
I don't either.
Fan bases tend to say
so
things
much
like
talk
that.
about it.
Yeah, from fans.
But it's been 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first time they lost to Michigan, I went, oh, okay, whatever. Second time they lost to Michigan, it's getting louder. And now you've got the third straight in a row, and they're just, it's a different animal, right? We talk about the high expectations of these huge programs.
Yeah, when Gene Smith says it, you let me know. Fan boards, they mean less than squat to me.
But you got what? I mean, your leash is getting shorter by the minute, isn't it? How long are they going to put up with it? That's the question. How long will they put up with it?
That's the question that I asked, is how long before this gets real loud?
Mm-hmm.
If he thought he was in any danger, he would have listened to Texas A&M. He did not.
Oh, speaking of, stock up, Mike Elko. Good for you, dude. I don't know what the number is on that contract yet, but hey, that's generational money that you'll never have to work again if you don't want to after this job.
Yep, and you have about the same level of job security as if you were the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. So you want to talk about a delusional fan base? That is one of them. That is one of the topics of. I haven't decided how many I'm mads I'm going to do today.
Oh,
I have 3. And I'm trying to decide which one that I'm angriest about. I know that one will be in it. I might save the officials one for tomorrow because there's another one that just slid across my desk that I feel it. It's right here. It's an angina. It's right here. And it's making me angry. And there are a few people in the sports media world that I'll take shots at when I get the opportunity. And this is one of them.
Yep. Texas A&M obviously fired Jimbo Fisher. They have now hired Mike Elko away from Duke. He was the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M under Jimbo Fisher just a few years ago. He obviously goes to Duke. He turns that program around immediately, kind of changes.
Did he though?
Well, I mean, yeah, they went from they weren't good under David Cutcliffe for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then Mike Elko comes in, and they had a 9-win year last year.
Mike Elko had 16 wins at Duke. How many of them were against teams that had less than 7 wins? It was 11 of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was 11 of them.
Does that matter?
100% that matters.
Does it? Well-coached teams.
We'll get into that with I'm mad. You put pin in that, and we'll talk about it.
Look.
And Mike Elko's a fine coach.
He had nothing to work with at Duke.
He has a quarterback that will go in the first round of the NFL draft.
He had
in the ACC. That's plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the third best team in the ACC right now? It's NC
Louisville?
State, who can't score.
Nah, yeah.
They can score on North Carolina, of which I'm not sure that iHeartRadio Asheville couldn't have hung 30 on them, but yeah.
He turned out good defenses at Duke.
He did. He's a good defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get fired at Texas A&M in 4 years. You mark my words that I said that.
Obviously. I mean, we all know how this is going to go.
Right.
I'm just saying for now, good payday, brother.
You went and cashed a bag with the most annoying fan base in all of college football.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome for you.
And who knows? Maybe you'll be able to turn it into a winner.
I hope you. Yeah.
Never know.
Nobody else has, but sure. Date the stripper, don't marry her. I mean, it's a Colin Cowherd line, and I'm just telling you, it's real apropos here. I can change her. She's got a degree from Poughkeepsie State Community College for the. Never mind. No good can come from with how I was going to finish that. Nope. I detest Texas A&M, and it shows sometimes. My next one's a stock up. Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Let's go. We told you for a long time, blame Canada. And I can't tell you that that's going to continue, but that is the first time I've looked at Kenny Pickett and gone, hey, He's an NFL quarterback. I don't know how good a one. What do you do with the Deontay Johnson thing? In the course of 1 week, you got into a, quote, heated exchange with Minka Fitzpatrick where you had to be separated by TJ Watt. And then fumble hits the ground and, I'm just going to, I want to.
It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time where apparently every really good Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver from now on is going to have to go through this.
Evan Doyle, resident Bengals fan, said it's a bad take. Well, I mean, you've been beaten 9 games in a row. And in terms of yards gained, and you beat Cincinnati. And, I mean, I get it was with Jake Browning.
What was a bad take?
Oh, he was saying it should have been stocked down Lou Anarumo. Yeah. You had Jake Browning. Yeah. When you're, trust me, if there's any aficionado out there on having a really good defense and how bad that defense can age over the course of a game when you have absolutely no offense, 2 first downs in 3 quarters, and one of them was by penalty. It's this guy.
Yep.
It's a Jets fan.
Fired coach bump, right?
That's
got your 500-yard game in. You finally had a game where you outgained your opponent. It's all looking up. I mean, for now, until you hit the field again.
I don't know. The AFC playoff teams are thinning out, and Pittsburgh just keeps putting games between themselves and them.
You do get Arizona next, and then you get the Patriots after that. You never know.
Which, if you lose either of those two, shoo, buddy.
Then you go Colts, Bengals. Could you roll off 4 wins in a row and be 11-4?
Good. My next one is for it's close to the heart of the other on the screen.
Yeah.
The god-awful NFC South.
Yeah.
Holy good. I want to ask a question, and you tell me the answer. All right, these are going to be some rapid-fire questions.
Okay.
If I took all 4 teams in the NFC South and I went to make like a cranberry sauce and I just threw it all in a pot and I melted it down, who's the coach? Like, who's the head coach of the NFC South All-Stars right now? And why is it Arthur Smith?
Yep.
Who's the quarterback of that team?
Bryce Young?
I could keep Bryce Young's not a terrible answer.
I mean,
who's your star defensive player? And why is it Jesse Bates?
Is it?
100%.
I mean, I know he had a touchdown yesterday, so yeah.
He had a touchdown and a forced fumble.
Yeah.
That is the most god-awful division in the world. Taylor M. said Derek Carr and Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore's hurt. I meant, like, we're going to go play a game this Sunday. Who's the star of what you're currently putting on the field?
Brian Burns.
Easy, though. I mean, I would agree it would probably be Lattimore when he's healthy, although I like Jesse Bates more than most.
Mm-hmm.
I literally watched more of Saints-Falcons than I ever wanted to. And at the end of it, I felt like I should have washed my eyes out with Dawn dish soap.
You should have. You should not subject yourself to NFC South football at any moment.
And then I look at your team and go, you know, of the 53-man roster of an NFC South All-Stars, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers probably have 26 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that you're not the 3rd best team in this division. That's hard to do.
Yep. But, I mean, that's what you get, right?
With
That's
Todd
what you
Bowles.
get with Todd Bowles as your head coach.
That face started to really just make you angry yet?
I've been pissed at it for 2 years.
Like
every day.
It's like a mixture of how do I explain this? It's a mixture of little kid, I broke something and you haven't found it yet, and a mixture of who farted, I did. That's the only way I can explain it. It's almost like I am stealing your money right from in front of you. And I just have this coy little smile that tells you I don't have a clue what I'm doing.
He is the epitome of that phrase that you like to use all the time of staring like an immigrant at the DMV. Like he just doesn't have any passion for anything. And he just stares blankly into the abyss of the nothingness that is his head coaching career in the NFL. He is god-awful, and we will all be better off when he is no longer a part of our fun little game.
I tried to tell you when you promoted him, I'm a Jets fan. I've seen Rich Kotite. I've seen Adam Gase. I've seen just a slew of bad coaches. Todd Bowles is without a doubt the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even really all that close.
Yep.
Adam Gase is the only one in his stratosphere. Although Robert Saleh is woo.
He's on that train.
Getting quicker and quicker and quicker and getting harder and harder and harder to stop.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. We got to take another break here. We'll come back.
We had breaking news. Somehow that's the first time that's ever happened.
Breaking news during the daily
At
draft.
the top of the daily draft. Like we took a pick and then more things happened.
Yep. So we will continue with the daily draft. Stock up, stock down from the weekend. So far, Jeremy's gone stock up for the Broncos, stock up for the Pittsburgh Steelers, stock down for the NFC South as a whole. I got down for Ohio State, up for Mike Elko in his pocketbook, and we'll continue after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sun, breezy to windy and chilly out here this afternoon. Temperatures again well below average, 10 to 15 degrees below average with highs only in the low 40s. Breezy to windy and cold tonight, clear skies, upper 20s. Mix of clouds and sun, still a bit breezy to windy and cold tomorrow. Highs only in the upper 30s to near 40. Moderating temperatures through midweek, sunny and 50 Wednesday, sunny and mid-upper 50s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Whether it's an ugly sweater party, office gift exchange, or holiday dinner at Nana's, Ritz Crackers is always there, bringing friends and family together to celebrate. So grab a box or two of Ritz Crackers for your next holiday gathering and make this season one to remember with Ritz, a taste of welcome.
You don't want to miss Zero Res Air Duct Cleaning's extended Black Friday sale. Mention ESPN Asheville to get your next air duct cleaning for $309. Use promo code AIR309 when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
The free iHeartRadio app is your home for the holidays. Open the app and click on the holiday banner or search iHeart Holiday and start listening to your local holiday station. Plus stations playing all kinds of holiday music, Christmas classics, Christmas jazz, country, R&B, tons of playlists, even podcasts. Yay! Our gift to you, the perfect holiday soundtrack. Join the millions of listeners on the iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Let's go overseas and some Thanksgiving travel woes. Things don't always go smoothly when you go on a trip. I went to Florida this past weekend, and well, we got sideswiped on the interstate by some 20-year-old trying to take her friends to the airport in Daddy's car. Just, decided, hey, I don't think there's a car in that lane. Nope, there it is.
Oh wait, so your car got?
Yeah, we got a little dinged up on the driver's side of the vehicle. Nobody was harmed. Everybody was fine. It's not a big deal.
Man, I don't notice anything now that I don't have to step outside for a heater every like 45 minutes. I didn't know it was cold. I looked at my weather app this morning because I hadn't been out of my house in 3 days. So
right.
It's 30 degrees outside.
It was brutal.
I had
cold this morning.
No idea.
Yeah. But yeah, so, things happen when you're traveling. Unexpected things happen from time to time. Some passengers, travelers at a Chilean airport, though, got a surprise over the weekend after a woman decided that it would be a good idea. I don't know where the decision-making came in here for her. Like, was it, I need to go get on a flight, but first I really want to hit this party before I go? Or if it was planned and she just made a bad decision at the party that later led to the fracas at the airport. But here's the thing. She goes to the party, she takes psychedelic mushrooms at the party, and then decides, I want to go to the airport. I feel like that's a bad call, ever. Never mind. That's crimes. Don't do crimes. So she gets to the airport, and then it happened. The mushrooms kicked in, and I don't know what she was seeing, and I would love to hear her tell the tale of exactly what was going through her head when she stripped down naked and started attacking random passengers. The video online of this woman has her, jumping full on some man, just some stranger carrying his suitcase. He was able to just kind of fend her off, just push her off, and then she turns her sights on some woman who grabbed her by the ponytail as she's trying to go through security, and then whips her to the floor, and then she just stopped, and then laid down on the floor because that's what you do, right? Bye, floor.
So what you're telling me is that this woman lived by Jeremy's theory of if he ever wound up in prison. Nobody wants to fight the naked guy.
Exactly. Just fully nude woman just attacking people in the airport, and here's the thing. They really didn't do anything about it. My favorite part of the video is watching the guys in the orange vests that are out there in the lobby, just watching this woman like they do not pay me enough to stop whatever is happening here.
My story randomly comes from Atlanta. It's about a woman named Vera Connor. She was hungry for a sub that puts the sub in subpar. So she stopped at a Subway sandwich shop, which if you know me, I don't know how low on the sandwich chain I would have to get to stop at a Subway. Every Jersey Mike's or Firehouse or which, they all burned down because even then I might eat the rubble first.
Warm tuna salad sandwich from the gas station. I'd think about it.
I probably just wouldn't eat. I'll pass. Because that tuna salad from Subway ain't any better. Because I got news for you. There's no fish in that. It's like It's cat eggs, and beaks, and hooves. You're worried about what's in a McRib and you're eating tuna salad from a Subway? That doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Anyway, she stopped and got an Italian sub. How much does that cost?
Do they still have the $5 footlong thing?
It's a Biden economy. Nobody has a $5
$15 footlong. Sorry.
No, it's $7.54. So you can assume that her shock when she got her credit card bill and that Subway sandwich cost $7,000.
Wow.
The only thing she can figure is that the screen went to a tip screen when it asked her to input her phone number, and she didn't see it. And so she typed in $7,000 as a tip. Now, here's stop putting tip screens up. Like, just, okay, if I want to tip you, just put a jar, all right? Just because you spun around an iPad does not mean I feel the burning urge to tip you. And I'll be honest with you, I am low-key getting a real enjoyment out of spinning that iPad back around and going, no.
I was going to say, I had one of those at a Hardee's while we were on the road.
Did you do anything here other than take my money? That's what you're paid to do!
Right.
Not everybody gets tips.
Didn't know we were tipping at Hardee's these days.
That's why I go to Ingles. They don't allow you to tip. Low prices, love the savings. Let's go. Came back with my hair on fire. Now, not only did she pay $7,000 for a sub, she can't get her money back either.
Oh.
Now her credit card company, because she tried to challenge or dispute the charge. Credit card company said, nope, you got the sandwich. You signed it. So that's not going to work.
I don't know. No.
Now apparently the credit card company and Subway are battling back and forth because it seems that Subway does not want to release those funds. Now, and I can tell you why, because I think $7,000 is more than that franchise has made in the last 5 years. Ever since you put your whole business in the hands of a weirdman, probably should have just closed the old doors on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they keep putting sandwiches together that are like, look, now we've got a ham and cheese. It's a funny marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You put Charles Barkley's voice on anything, it doesn't mean I'm going to buy it.
The $7,000 footlong.
I would be in jail for crimes.
Oh, yeah. I would be.
But, there's also a part of me,
office.
like if I was on this jury, there's a part of me that I want to stand up and just go, okay, you got what you deserved.
Because you ate it.
Because you ate at Subway. Like, bro, stop it.
Well, what if it was the only option?
I'm wearing a pair of shoes. I'm pretty sure I'd eat that shoe.
That's Jeremy, hellbound for leather.
Hey, I'm a weird man, but not weird enough to eat at a Subway.
It is the Sportsocracy.
Every Subway franchisee that just heard that's like, hey, that wasn't nice. You could have bought anything you wanted to.
And then they went, yeah, but I get it.
I get it. It's crap.
I don't eat here either.
Yeah. I've owned this place for 17 years, and I haven't had one of these sandwiches in 18.
We get free ones, and I don't even eat them.
I pay for the food, and I still won't eat
it. Daily Draft continues here, longest in the history of the program, as it is now my third selection of the Daily Draft. I'll go stock down for the weekend for the New England Patriots. Now, the outcome of the game really didn't change anything, right? I mean, the fact that they lost to the Giants is no surprise. This team is absolutely god-awful terrible. What my big problem is, you keep playing Mac Jones. Why? Expecting some different result? Like, oh, I don't know, maybe today it's going to be different, and he's actually going to have half a brain. I don't know. He had, 89 yards and 2 interceptions in the first half? And then they were like, we'll bench him for the 5th time this season. And yet, I'm sure Bill Belichick will go right back to the well with him next week.
I mean, he's been sent to the Pine more than one of Adrian Peterson's kids. Pine switch. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, my.
Let's go. Don't beat your kids. It's not nice.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But this, I mean, every week it continues to play into that thing that Jeremy said about Bill Belichick 5 damn years ago.
We ready to admit I was right yet? Because I was. I've never not been right. You might not wanted to see it, but it's never stopped being the case.
Yeah. He's just not good. And the more the time goes on and I have to see him up there on the podium doing his stupid little
I can't remember. Sometime during the week.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to judge Zappy's performance if he's not getting full amount of reps during the week.
Yeah, it's everybody's job to be ready to go.
It's everybody's job being ready to go. Just, I mean, if I was Robert Kraft, I'd be over it by now.
I need you to do something about your face because your face is really starting to.
No doubt. When we're 12-3 and making a run to the playoffs, you can be this guy. But when we're god-awful and you keep trotting out the same failure quarterback and the same scheme every week, yeah.
Look, when you look like Jason Momoa, you can be a bit of a jerk. When you look like me, you better have a good attitude and a joke book in your back pocket.
Yep.
And that's where Bill's at.
Robert Kraft, he may be a saint at this point. The fact that he hasn't fired Bill yet and embarrassed him.
Well, the only thing is you'd have to talk to a psychiatrist because I have a funny feeling he's having dreams about drowning Bill in a bucket of water.
That voodoo would all exist. There's no doubt about it. And then I'll go stock up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just last week, we were talking about how you might be able, or I guess 2 weeks ago, you might lose control of this division. Well, now you got a 2-game lead in the division after beating the Houston Texans, and it seems like you are on the path that we thought you'd be on.
There's a great chance with how bad this team's schedule is that you're going to be the 1 seed in the AFC. I said it before the season. I think Brady Quinn said the same thing before the season, and this was a big trap game. And I do have to say this. Do you realize how good this C.J. Stroud-Trevor Lawrence back-and-forth rivalry is going to be for the next 10, 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Yep.
It's fun.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it.
That it is.
I'm going to go stock up. Green Bay Packers, look at you winning a game. Do I believe in Jordan Love? Oh, good God, no. And you can send me all the tweets and all the comments and all the things that you want to. It's my eyes still tell me he's not particularly good at football. Now, what has changed is that I think Mike LaFleur has figured out that he's not good at football. And, hey, we should just get the ball in the hands of our playmakers, which, by the way, when all of you were telling me, what about the receivers? I can name 25 teams in this league that would kill to have your receivers. But the rookies, doesn't matter. Pat Mahomes would throw for 6,000 yards with what you have right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe me on Jordan Love, ask yourself this question. Breaking news came down right now, and the Green Bay Packers gave Jordan Love 4 years and $160 million. And the more he does that, the more possible that becomes. What would your reaction be? Because I can tell you, fans of the 31 other teams, it would be, that's going to age badly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go Sharon Moore as well. Stock up. If Harbaugh does leave and take the Chargers job, then he has definitely made the case that he should be the next head coach. Keep the staff in place. A lot of these guys are college guys anyway.
Okay. I'm going to go stock up for the Alabama Crimson Tide. That game that I couldn't even care about. You
should have lost to Auburn. If Hugh Freeze didn't just go completely brain dead for a minute, you would have lost to a team that just lost to New Mexico State.
No doubt. 4th and 31, though. I mean, that's a hell of a way. That's a hell of a way to end a rivalry game. And it's just another one in the long line of historic games between those two teams.
Yeah, you saw it much differently than I did because I looked at that and went, man, you almost threw away probably Nick Saban's best coaching job. But Hugh Freeze went dumbass. And I'm going to play heads up on the outside. which I have watched that play like 15 times and just gone, what exactly was how do you have a 20-yard buffer and get beat deep? How does that happen? I could play 20 yards deep and not get beat deep on a 30-yard route.
Prevent defense prevents you from winning, right?
Prevent would not have prevented them from winning there. Playing heads up on the outside, not a great call.
Yeah. 27-24, Bama gets the win, and they keep their college football playoff hopes alive. Got to come up with the win in the SEC championship, a game against Georgia this week. And then I got to go with a UDFA.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll go Buffalo Bills. Stock up. I mean, we thought you were dead, right? We thought this season was just kind of lost, and
I still think you're dead.
I mean, there's a great possibility, but do you not feel better about this team going into the stretch that they've got after that performance against Philadelphia?
What is no, Bob?
Really? Nothing changed for you with Buffalo?
A game that you had absolutely no excuse to lose, and you did. I'm going to use a line that you once said to me.
Mm-hmm.
That boy's got a whole lot of quit in him. And man, you can just rip defeat from the claws of victory.
Yep.
It's not really overly impressive to me. I don't have time to really go in on this as much as I want to. It's the New York Jets. Stock downer. I'd stay even further. I didn't know it was possible. I did not physically know it was possible to be worse. You had 2 first downs through 3 quarters, and one of them was by penalty. You threw a 99-yard interception touchdown on a Hail Mary at the end of a half. I say every week, they can't surprise me anymore. And every week, their incompetence knows no bounds. And we will have a new Jets shirt in our merch store tomorrow. And if you're not a Jets fan, it's really funny. And if you are a Jets fan, it's going to make you say obscenities, and then it's going to be really funny.
You're in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
With Black Friday savings all month long at the Home Depot, you get all the jingle bells and whistles you could wish for with LG appliances. With America's most reliable line of appliances per independent consumer study, you can take holiday doing to holiday done and always be ready to handle last-minute holiday guests. Final days to save up to $900 on select laundry sets, including top brands like LG, with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Ends November 29th.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100%, feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Dirty Turkish shark back flat. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. Shark back flat.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
I had to choose one I'm mad. I'll have to save the other two for tomorrow, and I will only be madder tomorrow. Mine today is about Texas A&M football. Let me spin you a little yarn about how this weekend went, and I have this on good authority from somebody that I promise you knows. Mike Elko is the new head coach at Texas A&M, but he wasn't going to be. Mark Stoops was going to be the head coach at Texas A&M, but a couple websites got a hold of this, and they put it out there. And what happened? Texas A&M fans did what they do, and they were aghast with this hire of, we are Texas A&M, we must hire a better coach than Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops would have been the best hire you could possibly have made because he's done a whole lot more with a whole lot less at Kentucky than anything you've ever done. But then what did you do instead? You went and pandered to the fan base and hired the guy that's a Texas A&M man. Let me ask you just a theoretical question. I already told you, Mike Elko has 5 wins against Power 5 teams with a winning record the 2 years he was at Duke. You think he's better than Mark Stoops? No, you did that thing you do. You cowered to the masses, which is why Texas A&M has been the laughingstock program that they really are forever. Let me ask you another question. Who was the last Texas A&M coach with over a 700 winning percentage?
Don't know.
It was R.C. Slocum. That ended in 2002. Who was the previous one before that had coached more than, 6 games?
Bear Bryant.
It was Dana X. Bible, and he died in the 40s. You're a mediocre laughingstock program with a limitless bank account. And guess what? 3 years from now, you'll be doing the exact same thing when Mike Elko goes into the SEC and he can't recruit against Nick Saban and he can't recruit against Kirby Smart. But on the positive side for Elko, at least you got paid. I'm sure you'll enjoy that when you're coaching Central Florida 5 years from now. I'm mad.
Yeah, you dang right.
And I'm not even mad at Mike Elko. It's more the Texas A&M fan base that thought you were going to get Ryan Day. Are you out of your mind? You're the 9th best program in your own conference.
It's hard for, a school to come out and the AD to start screaming, this is not an 8-4 program, and then hire somebody that was 7-5 for the last 2 years.
I was about to
That's
say,
why
you're
Mark
right.
Stoops didn't get that job.
You're actually a 7-5 program, which, by the way, what's Duke's record? Oops.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll be back with you tomorrow at noon.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sun, breezy to windy and chilly out here this afternoon. Temperatures again well below average, 10 to 15 degrees below average with highs only in the low 40s. Breezy to windy and cold tonight, clear skies, upper 20s. Mix of clouds and sun, still a bit breezy to windy and cold tomorrow. Highs only in the upper 30s to near 40. Moderating temperatures through midweek, sunny and 50 Wednesday, sunny and mid-upper 50s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
You don't want to miss 60% off everything during the once-a-year Black Friday event, only at your nearest Banana Republic factory store. Bring home must-have styles and gifting favorites with limited-time deals from just $15.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.